everybody. I swear, we need like some behind the scenes. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Great.
I'm ready to roll.
There's another pun. Please tell me that was a pun. All right, let's knock out these quick sponsors. If you need some new dice, Metallic Dice Games has polyhedral, metallic, gemstone dice. You can get 20% off anything in their store using promotion code GeekNation. Geek Grind coffee. I don't know if anybody's had this before, but man, it is top notch. It's actually 100% sourced by women farmers from Colombia. So you buy a bag, you support that cause, and it's also 1,000% delicious.
What? That's impossible.
You cannot comprehend with your
1,000%.
mind the deliciousness of these roasted beans.
And
It's a happy bean water.
For those who watch this later on YouTube, we did notice that only 6 of you that watched are subscribers. So please be sure to, if you like what you see, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and comment with your favorite scene this episode. And also, if we hit 500 subscribers, I will personally buy a gemstone set to give away on our Discord channel. So,
yeah.
Mistakes, people.
I'm gonna subscribe.
I'm gonna turn
If I can get me a nice dice set.
Wait, let me subscribe.
I know. I'm like, am I subscribed?
Dice addict here.
And all the links are down below. All right, Steve, give it to you.
All right, just making sure we had all the plugs out of the way. Welcome back, everybody. So when last we left off, there had been a lot of preparation getting ready to find out what is in the library, or more importantly, what is beneath it. So gaining access to this location after many shenanigans during the day with the student body and the choice of study that the students had at the school.
Not history.
Not history. You managed to get access to the rare books room and found the clues that opened the secret door that led to the secret library. Because it was just a regular door, you just go to the regular library. So that's why it's a secret door to the secret library. It's important. All right, so that is where we left off with, and I guess I can change the scene now. Activate. Okay.
Oh, it says I don't have a token with vision in the scene.
Or do I?
You don't, because you're not there.
There.
Where did it go? We're keeping watch.
How am I supposed to let the viewers at home see?
It's a secret. That's why it's a secret library. No, I'll take care of that in just a moment. I'll just change the scenes. I haven't triggered anything yet. So the stairs themselves, as you open up the door, Val remains in the main foyer area of the rare books room to keep just a watchful eye out for anybody checking in on you. Illusion cards have been used by those who have gone downwards or downstairs to give them the facade as if they're just sitting there reading books and enjoying whatever tales they have found. And Cattell, get that accent, I was gonna get that inflection.
Oh.
Cattell is actually standing right on the other side of the door, kind of between where the secret door was and then the door to the main foyer area of the rare books room, with the door slightly shut, and so she can hear and see if she needs to, but also not creating any big scenes. If anybody should check in, they wouldn't see the doors like wide open or anything. They look closed, and so she's kind of in both spaces at once. The remaining group is descending down into the darkened depths of the stairs that spiral down. Before we get rolling deep into this, though, so last session we spoke, we talked about this wonderful little character called Win, and at the time, the artwork for Win was I had not gotten contact with the artist. Well, now I have since gotten contact with the artist who said absolutely feel free to share. So there's Win.
I mean, I've already seen this, but still.
It just
my God.
cuter.
I think we
She's
found our
carnivorous.
new emote.
Right?
Yes.
I need
Little
Win
Win.
emote, please.
So this is done by Sandara, and I'm thankful that I was able to get. I had to go to a couple different places to figure out where the artwork had gone to because it was a little bit. But I was able to get permission, and all is well and good. So this is Win. So as we talk about Win, you can see it's got 6 furry legs, big bushy tail, and wings, and about the size of a squirrel. Just for size purposes, about the size of a squirrel. Spends most of her time curled up in around Lorna's neck. So
And so Sandara is the art.
mhm.
Thank you.
Sandara. Yeah.
Thank you.
That is an awesome picture. Okay.
This will now forever be Win in my brain and for
Yeah.
everyone else.
Well, the name of the art piece is actually called Fluffy.
No, Fluffy's a cat. Come on.
Right, which I thought was ironic because yeah, Fluffy's a cat.
For now.
For now.
Oh, my boy. No.
All right, so that's catches us up where we're at. With the group right at the threshold to go down the stairs. Cattell in the doorway and Val back in the main room. And let's get going.
Can I go ahead and make a couple of rolls while I'm in that upper room?
Just random ones or
Just randomly roll.
Some perception checks, that's all.
are you trying to perceive something?
Yes, I'm looking around for something.
And if he gets, I will say, if you get exploding
Oh.
20 on this, I'm be like, you're the master of perception.
You don't find whatever you were looking
Oh,
for.
that sounds pale, but I don't know if that's...
Hold on, let me roll that for you. Hopefully that worked. Did you
Yeah, I
that
saw
showed
that.
up on there, right? Yeah,
I saw it.
that's fine. I'll do it this way. Badoosh. Okay.
I didn't see anything.
Search for outside of what you've already found in this space out there to lead you to the clues that got you to the stairs. You don't find anything of any great notice. It is a rare books room, and so as you're glancing around, you are noticing that there are some high-priced books and such in here, just from trade and things like that. But unless you're a book connoisseur, it's nothing particularly
Did she take the letter?
catches
from
your
me?
eye. What's that?
Did she take the letter from me or just look at it? The letter?
She took the letter.
Okay. I've looked at it before. Was it just my name that was on it, or was everyone's name?
Yeah, it said it had your name, and then it had and plus X guests, and which were to fit
Okay.
the.
Okay.
And I'm keeping an ear out for anything on both ends.
Do you have like the doors like slightly cracked open, and you just have an ear sticking out of it in that room?
I'm just
What's
like going
going on?
between the two doors.
I crack it open and look at her with her ear to the door. What?
she's got glass.
What
What?
are you doing?
Listening.
I look past her. Is the door still open to the vault?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they
I'm
haven't. There,
listening
you
that-
see them just kind of standing about to start going down it.
Oh, okay. So they haven't gone down yet?
No, because it's a tighter passageway, so that's what we're doing, kind of like a marching order, in that space. So
Okay.
for the three of you.
How
Mhm.
did you all open the door? Just curious.
Very carefully.
Mm, there was a code.
Combination
A
Yeah.
cipher?
of the arm.
I found a
On the
piece of
statue.
someone did the work for us. I found this and I show him the paper.
Okay. Is it handwritten?
Yes.
Okay. Would I get
It's got 3 words written on it: resolute, determination, perseverance.
this is probably a long shot to ask, but do I get a feel like this was like written before they came in, like it was like a cheat sheet to go to the vault, or was someone else here trying to access the vault like we are?
I mean, it was a wadded up piece of paper, right?
Like
That-
someone had tried sticking
Yeah.
it in their pocket but didn't quite
Like
make
kind of
it.
wadded. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what
It
I
was
had
on the floor.
received with my amazing 20 something.
Was it like a 26 or something like that?
Yeah,
it was,
that's
it
the
was
number
pretty
that's
high.
yeah, yeah. That's the number that came to mind.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not. Investigation isn't your specialty, so you're just kind of like. I mean, it definitely looks like it's somebody wrote these 3 words down. It's crumpled up, and it was found underneath beneath the table, kind of hidden by a chair that was pushed in
Okay.
by a bunch of other papers and things like that. So somebody was working in here, and that crumpled up piece of paper was found near that.
Okay.
With my background, would I be suspicious that somebody was maybe going to try and basically do what we're doing and steal some information, but was trying to get the code to break in before they brought in a group or whatever?
I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's.
I guess that's where my head would at least take Katal.
Yeah, because your background is one that tends to like guardian and keep things
Analyzing.
safe and make sure. Yeah, it's like check all your corners, that type thing. And now I would say, just from how you found it all, is
Mhm.
that it was over by where those papers were. So if somebody were trying to sneak in,
They weren't really covering their tracks very well.
right? Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do some studying over here, and then I'm gonna go sneak downstairs.
Right.
I mean, you have to think. I'm like, this is just it's a room with a purpose, and it's like people are going to be going down to this thing, so it's not like, I don't think it being super unusual. So slightly suspicious.
Always suspicious.
Can I see what was being researched on those papers?
Yeah, make a research check.
Oh.
I'm gonna enter the room while she does that and kind of walk around and search.
Oh, yeah.
You think
didn't-
that it's written in some sort of a language that people use.
No.
Actually, no. It's as you're going through it, you're looking through the pages and such. It's like it's somebody's notes. That's just not a great note taker. It's consistent as far as the handwriting is all the same, but you're like, you really can't follow it because it's all written in like just half thoughts, and nothing catches your eye as far as like any like glaring word, like, oh, there's the word, or anything like that. It's just
Got it.
somebody who's just really bad at note taking, in your opinion.
In my opinion, yeah. Cool. Cool.
I approach a table, look over. I'm kind of like slowly like walking around the other side of the room, looking at the table, papers on it, around like the bookcase that had all the stuff inside.
Remember, we're in a time crunch.
I don't know. I do check my pocket watch.
So that being said, too, you do hear the orchestra queuing up from outside. So the concert has begun, which means that time frame really, the clock is ticking, because once the concert has ended,
And we have to find whatever it is down
the
there.
thing is
when we get
the
down
things
there.
are closing up. Exactly.
Well,
So
and he can, and I can snoop around while you guys all go down.
Yeah, let's go.
You don't have
go
to
down
wait for us.
and get moving.
okay. So who's leading the way downstairs? Okay, all three. So
No, I'm going to be behind the two of them.
okay.
Like
I'll
that's
let-
fine. They can go.
Cedric can go
but-
first. He's intimidating.
I would like to. I'm going to talk to Win for a moment and just tell Win to stay up here. And I'll kind of nod my head at Cattell or on the table. And then just be sure to warn us if anybody comes. And I'll try to meet Cattell's eyes. Like, look, you can
Cattell.
talk to her. She'll come down and find us.
Understood.
As Wynn kind of does, like, she's so small that her growl sounds really pathetic, but just kind of does like a grunt noise, like a meh, like that's not cool. Leaps off, and as she leaps, kind of you feel her claws kind of dig in a little bit, just as as a launching point, just as like a, just so you know.
Mhm,
Way to
mhm,
tick
mhm.
off, just tick her off. Come on.
And then hops up on the table and is so as Val's kind of looking through this stuff with her, Wynn jumps up on the table and kind of sits up there with him, is like pawing through the papers with, as if like helping him sort through this stuff. And then, all right, so that's that. Val, you're looking through those papers to see if there's anything of any particular interest.
The more of just reading the room, like looking for things in the room.
You do note that the notes that are on the table, that Cattell just was like, it's bad note taking. There are some references to some of the books that were in the rare books room that this person must have been referencing as part of just research and such, but has since put them back, as you see some of the names that you had seen in the other room, like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that book as I was browsing around just a moment earlier. It is chaotic how they've taken notes, and so it's kind of like piecing it. And there's no, whatever they were doing doesn't seem to jump out at you, as far as like, what was there a theme to this, or like what were they trying to tie up loose ends on this here. You do also come across the statue that has the book with the quill with the words on it that they had referenced. That's how they got into this secret. So that's you see that, and you notice that the arm does move with the quill sliding over the words. But it's left on the word perseverance. That's what opened the door in there. There's a glass case with some books in there as well. And that's about the most as far as anything that like of significance in this particular room.
Okay.
Out there now. All right, so heading downstairs, one thing to take note of is that who can see in the dark?
I'm not
I
there.
have nowhere to check for that.
You should be under your abilities
Think?
tab on your character sheet. See dark vision, or because I know
I
one of
don't
you
see-
cannot.
I don't see anything in any of my notes about that, so I guess it's me that cannot.
It's under talents.
talents.
I have
Yeah,
low
sorry.
light.
Yeah.
I said
Oh,
abilities. I meant
talents.
talents. My bad.
Yeah, it's under talents. I have low light.
So
Oh,
you
I have
cannot
low
see.
light. I have low light.
And
Vision.
I have
You're
dark vision.
not there.
he yells it down there. I have dark vision.
I can see
Trouble
you
seeing.
guys.
Trouble seeing.
Oh, I have dark vision. Never mind. I have low light vision and dark vision.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
was at first I was like, oh no, is it blocked for you? But I could, okay, so Lorna can. So as you start to descend, the light from behind you goes away, and it's just pitch black darkness down there.
Wow, low light vision is way better than dark vision.
It is.
Sorry,
Maybe
it's
work
just
on it.
I just read you can see basically as well as you can in the dark as you can in daylight, just about. At least according to what I just read.
No, I might have been a typo. You can see
Or so
twice as
sensitive to light,
far
but they
as
can
a
see twice as
human.
far
Yeah,
in normal as dim
Mhm.
light. Lexi, are you all right?
I have low light vision, so am I all right?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused
I
by.
was like, that's
No,
fine.
you can't see because you
So I
need
can't
light.
see.
Yeah, you
So
need
low
light
light
of some
mean-
sort.
So
So
low
correct
light's
me. Yeah,
Dark vision is complete darkness.
got
Low
it.
light vision is you can see further than a normal human could normally see in dim light.
Like dusk, like where it starts.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
so the description's a little okay.
Yeah, I interpreted it the way you did too. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, because of that last line, it's
Yeah.
what it says.
I can't see anything.
It says they can see on a moonlit night.
Oh, but not pitch blackness.
Okay,
Right.
so as
There
long
has
as
to be
there is
light of some
source.
sort. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there has to be something.
Okay. Cedric,
Shall we light a torch?
can you not see either?
I can see fine.
I mean, I
Do we even bring a torch?
I assume one of us has a torch. Come on, it's normal adventuring, isn't it?
Right, but we're in a library. Why would we have
There
a
are
torch in a
books
library?
above.
I'm gonna
There were
step
stuff-
back.
there was
Yeah,
lights
I'm gonna
above.
step back up into the room. I'm gonna grab a candle, look at the other two, and just kind of shrug, and then I'm gonna go back down.
Just do not discuss this. All right. So who's going to carry the candle?
I'll give it to Lexi because I can see fine. So
All right.
I think she's the only one who can't.
I can't see.
Let me hook you up there, Lexi.
I love how this like blocks your views and stuff. I know for Rob it's frustrating, but because he's showing on stream. But for the rest of us, it's really cool. As a player, it's really neat.
All right. So let me give you a light source.
Rob still just has a black screen.
It's okay.
Well,
I
yeah.
know what he's doing. I think he put a disc down earlier. He's gonna make a light source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just give everyone access to the light source and get the light source vision, and then
Ooh, that's pretty.
All right. Now let me fix Cattell because that token issue for earlier has made its way over to this screen too. So here,
Oh,
there you go.
that's cool.
Right? It like flickers like a light. It's
Yeah.
cool. It flickers like a candle. Sorry, viewers. You'll be able to see eventually.
So Rob, you can't see?
Nope.
Oh, I know why. Let me move her out of the way.
this
How
is a
about now?
theater of the
Yes.
mind
Fear
experiment.
of the mind. Sorry, technical difficulties. We're figuring it all out.
New tool.
Had to split the party.
Who you calling tool?
We've already made one of the biggest mistakes.
We didn't even make it an hour and we split the party, if I recall.
There is nothing wrong with splitting a party. People.
You always split the party. It's the most drama, the best drama.
Yes.
Rob, if I remember correctly, in the game you DM'd for me way back when,
Mhm.
the time when we split the party, my character got knocked unconscious 4 times.
This is
It was-
fine.
I was
This
like, oh
is
yeah.
probably
It's the
fine.
library, guys.
This is the
I'm in
university.
danger.
Nothing can
mean,
go
this isn't- this
wrong.
isn't
Knock on
Hogwarts.
wood.
What do you expect down here? Another fluffy?
Watch, there's a baby dragon.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Turn Cattell around. There she goes. Now
Got
she's
it.
facing the right direction, even though she's not down there. But she can at least be in the doorway because you can hear. All right. So as you wind around the steps, the air gets slightly cooler, but not as much as you would think, given that you're going down. But you do see, once you get at the bottom, that there are slits up towards the ceiling a little bit that have been designed to like allow air in, so it's not stuffy. The other thing that you notice too is that it is very clean. There's no dust. It's the floors are very nicely cleaned. However, there is a kind of like where you see like many feet have been walking over many years, have kind of worn in to the floor and right down the middle of this space that you're in now. You see some columns on both lining each side. So there's 6 columns, 3 on each side, that are before you, and in the little alcoves are similar statues to what you saw above, except they don't have any quill. They just have books in their hands, and it looks as if they're like holding them up and like reading them on each side. And otherwise, the hall continues down.
Are we hearing
Before
any noise or anything like that?
It is very quiet.
Okay. Let's
Can
do
we
it.
see any books of any kind, or is it like that everything leads to like one book that's on a pedestal? Or...
Yes. Oh, hey
Yeah,
guys, I found it.
exactly.
Great, let's
That
go.
would be really nice.
Shortest quest ever.
Can you move me
Done.
forward a little bit carefully? I'm kind of looking around for potential traps.
Yeah,
and,
use your I believe it's your control key, and you can kind of drag where you
My
want to go, and
control
that tells
key.
me the path you want to take.
Do you see it?
Yep,
Okay.
there you are. So as you go by, you notice on the columns themselves, they have like all these divots, not holes. So you can see like there's the backing of them. I don't want to give you the impression like darts are going to shoot at you or something like that. They're just
be a
just
trap.
divots, lot of different depths, covering all of them.
Okay. What are these guys up to?
I'm
Which guys? Your
The-
companions?
No. These guys, the ones I'm pointing at, the statues.
They are of similar in nature to the statues that you saw upstairs. But rather than having the ones upstairs had books with quills in their hand as if they're taking notes, these have books in their hands and they're just looks as if they're just holding them out and reading them.
Okay. And I am not like seeing any tripwires or.
Well, let me roll that for you and see
That's
if you
what I was
see
gonna
any.
do that too.
Okay. Okay. You do not notice anything.
Either of us?
Neither of you notice anything. I'm doing a crown.
All right. Well, let's.
Proceed with caution.
Okay.
So you have to move us, right?
Yep. So just hold your control key down. Tell me where you want to go.
Well, since he's leading, I gotta wait for him to go first.
Okay. I see you. I'm moving you. Lorne, there you are. I was looking for yours. I was like, oh, you're back there still. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, there's a...
And Rob, just because you're with the viewers, you can move with them.
So special.
Be the little camera.
I actually have a camera token. I just haven't had a chance to work with Rob to test it out to make sure where you can just move it around, so that way he can have his token in one spot but move the camera with them. Okay, so you're going there.
I'm going to be following right behind. Like I'm right with the whole group.
Yep. Should have you with them, right? You
Yep.
there. Okay. It's like that is you,
Yeah,
right?
no, you're right.
Okay.
Is that a tree?
So as you pull ahead, you excuse me, you see where the floor kind of comes down and then down again, and then ahead of you, like in the center of this, looks like a wall, is a tree.
Closer to the tree.
Okay. I'm keeping an eye out while they move closer to the tree, looking down both the corridors, the right and the
Okay.
left.
What about you, Orna? What are you doing?
I'm going to move circle. I want to circle more around to the right while they're going more in the center.
Okay.
So
I'm
Like
trying to stay
over
close
here?
to Cedric because I know he needs the light.
Like-
So
out
There you go.
further. Yeah, there we
Hmm.
go.
Cedric doesn't need light.
oh, you
Does
don't
not.
need the light?
No, you're the only one that you're the
I'm
only one.
The only one.
Why am I even
little,
down
with
here?
your little light
My little candle.
and Ghost Val by your side.
I believe
All
there's
right.
there's hallways on each side.
You hear your voice echoing. Not that echoey, but a little echoey. Yeah, it's like it's the Grand Canyon, yan. This particular room too is, when you look up, you see it's has glass on the ceiling. Now it's dark because it's night outside, but just directly above this space here, there's a glass, which it doesn't. So where you're at, and compared to where you went down, you've moved away. That tells you're not under the main library anymore. I'm upstairs.
Okay. While they're looking at the tree, then I guess I'm gonna head this way. Just peek around the corner.
And I'll do the same on the other hallway.
Got it. All right, so you head over there.
Ooh.
Gotcha.
I'm used to this. How does it?
Then you should be able to like hold your control key down and then let go.
Me the tree, so I can just light this place up.
What's that?
In the darkness, I can't find them. So
Oh, it says I'm lost connection. Oh, now I've reestablished connection.
Okay, that was weird. All right, so you want to head over here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so moving into that space. There you go. It's a short hallway, maybe about 15 feet down that hall, and then it opens up into a circular room up ahead.
Do I see any books or anything, any writing of any kind?
You do see some books kind of laying on, over here
Mm-hmm.
on what looks to be like a shelf with some chairs nearby it, and this looks like almost like a study place where you could sit and along this kind of curved table.
I'll go check the books and see if there's anything about the elemental plane of minerals. Don't
Okay.
know why. This book is so precious, it's just chilling here. But maybe.
It's just like laid on the floor, half open. Just, oh, hey, here. it's on
Open to
floor
the
there.
exact page you need.
Yeah, it's like perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Um,
start rifling through them.
All right, so you head over there. I'll get to you in just a sec.
Yep.
Over in that space, Cedric. You see a similar in the other direction, a similar length of hallway.
Okay. Can I investigate a little bit further?
Yep. All right, you head in here, and you see a similar thing, a curved, like built-in, like stone shelf with some chairs by it. There's some books stacked up and just kind of scattered around where they were just had been left behind. You also see, excuse me, in this room, two pulsing, glowing lights on each side of the room, and you can faintly like see a shape beyond it, as if it's like blocking a passageway into another room.
Okay. Can I analyze these barriers since I am skilled in creating barriers?
Sure thing. All right, so you're going in there to do that. I'm gonna drag Rob. Okay. Back here, Lexi.
Oh, it's the same
So
thing.
you see the
every single
tree, and
time.
as you step in, over all around you, in these spaces here, I'm kind of pinging against. Those are all shelves of books.
Okay, that's what I was gonna.
Hundreds
ask
and
you,
hundreds
because
and
it
hundreds
looks
of
like it.
books.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay, well I'm gonna start scanning for what we're supposed to be looking for.
I feel like we should have asked what color the book cover is or something.
What's the
Is
name
it a
of the
big
book
book?
again?
Is it a small book?
Yeah, it's
Is
like,
it a scroll?
explain what this book does.
Yeah,
All right, so
is it even a book? I thought that's something
Exactly.
else.
I'm like, is it a scroll? Is it a book? Is it something wrong? Is it hieroglyphs on the wall? I don't know.
right.
Well, whatever the book is, it's about waygates, right?
Yes.
For,
So it's like
for the elemental plane
discovering
of minerals.
waygates is the title I'm looking for. No.
All right, so well, as you're over here and you're kind of scammed, they do seem thematically tied. Like this is like a library, so they are. So as you're you're like, okay, this is about political alliances, and so you can kind of use that as your means to look through it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me. I can do it if I try. There we go. So go ahead and make a perception check.
Me?
Yes, or research, whichever. You can either use research or you can use perception.
Oh, I lost. my-
Ideally, the one that's probably higher, unless you're just filling.
Oh, there's my- Let's see. Let's see. I got perception and I'm definitely. You said perception or research. I can choose.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely doing perception. So. Words. There's words on
Hey,
these books.
There's glass on the ceiling, guys. Did you see that? We're here looking for books. Okay.
Lordy.
All right, so you're in there, about down here, scanning around through this. All right, let's head back over here. All right. Give me an arcane theory check, Cedric.
Arcane theory. I love it.
Arcane. Is that just Arcana?
No.
Oh no, there's actually Arcane Theory. Okay, gotcha.
There is.
Yep.
It's a learn skill. So if you don't,
Oh,
have,
okay.
you
I
should
was
see
like-
it's a knowledge. It should be towards the bottom if you scroll down.
I don't have that one.
What's the
This
difference?
is, in fact, a magic tethered to the sphere that you have been training in, but well beyond your skills. It is a magical barrier, just used basically in place of a door, but also prevents magical travel through it as well. So without a key, it will not open. Now, the key can be a word or it can be an item. It depends on who put it there.
Okay, I'm gonna squint at that door, and I'm gonna squint at the other door. I'm gonna look around, see if there's an obvious clue like there was last time.
Okay. Go ahead and do research or perception.
Research, perception. Oh, definitely perception. Holy
That was me too, and I failed.
God.
Oh,
Whoa!
wait.
Ooh.
Ah, so mean.
What is with everyone else getting these exploding 20s on perception and not me?
Your time will come.
Cedric seized.
You see everything.
All right, you find. Oops. This here. View. Show.
Oh,
Oh man, my cursive is not.
Yeah, do you need me to read it to you?
No, just give me a sec.
Okay.
Don't freaking patronize me.
well, they do say someday we'll get to use that as a secret language.
Ooh, that's cool.
So this is yours now, Cedric. You can use this then to get to. You can use this clue to gain a +5 bonus on any single skill check made to find text later.
Made to find text later. Got it.
Like what you're doing. So yeah, when you go
That's
and
nifty.
use again, you get a +5. Or you can give
Only
this
once,
clue
or you're ongoing.
only once, or you can give this clue to somebody else and they get the +5. Whoever uses this as a reference, you get that. You also find where is it? There it is. This book.
Love the title.
Hidden
Gem.
gem. Thank you.
It's truly outrageous.
Truly, truly, truly outrageous.
So with this clue, so you have 2 clues now to keep up
Uh-huh.
with. This one is you can use this when you or another PC discovers a clue on or text to find one additional clue or text if any remain in the room. Attempting to use this in a room that doesn't have any more clues, it doesn't count, but you can use it again.
Okay, so I got 2 clues. One's a +5 and one's plus clue.
So one's is if you somebody fails basically their check, you can try again.
Can you add that to my inventory?
I can. I was just going to share that with you real quick. And let me pull you up. Cedric. Forget
So
yours,
Cedric's just looking around the room and he finds a book that's slightly out of place and he quickly scans through it. He's a speed reader and he just reads through it like this. And he finds not 1, but 2 clues in this way.
And I'm in the other room. Books?
so many books.
books.
So many books.
I've gotten extremely fascinated by some moss that's growing on the wall. You said it was very clean, so probably not.
So these are kind of like plus whatevers, but did I find what I was looking for? Any obvious clue with regards to the... Oh, okay.
That's what you found in this room.
Gotcha. I'll just put those there for now.
Come into my room and do the same thing while I just look at books.
Find all the clues.
What do your Cedric eyes see?
They are all seeing.
For some reason, this thing is not loading up on your.
Oh
page.
no, I closed them all. I don't remember. There was a +5. I know 1 more. Okay, I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. I gotta figure out why, because it's same thing as the rest of your gear. It's just not. I don't see it showing up on your sheet.
Oh, the fun of playing over technology. We can't.
Yeah, because I could have just hand you. Yeah, just
right?
hand you a piece of
No.
paper.
Oh, I miss that so much.
I
Or
do
whisper.
too.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. All right, let's head back over to. Oops, I forgot to grab Val. Where are you?
By Cedric. Here.
Yeah. Something's not right.
Uh-oh.
Maybe that's
Uh-oh.
why I couldn't load it.
Maybe you disconnected.
Yeah, maybe I did. That's okay. I just refresh.
Sorry, everyone. Gotta love technical difficulties.
All right. And I'm... Yep, now I can grab them. Okay. Let's see here. You're heading around. Down here with Lorna. Okay. Lorna, you're heading into this room.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's doors.
Yes, you see 2 doors in this room, as well as the books and such that I described earlier.
All right. Well, I said I was going to do a cursory look at the books, so
Yep.
sure, why not?
Go ahead and do a check
Perception or
or research, your choice. I'm pretty sure,
definitely perception.
from what I recall on yours. Okay.
Research is
Fine.
not my skill set.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're all very
Research.
perceptive,
either.
but
Is anybody good at research? We might have a problem. I learn things, just not from
Words.
books.
Yeah.
So
All right,
21.
here. Let's see.
Very good roll.
Here we go. This is what you find. Open for me. There we go.
so jealous. I just see books.
Oh,
You don't see that?
this is another promising text.
Yes. +3 that you
Oh,
have.
plus single skill check. Okay.
Yep. Now this is, and it's not automatic, so you get to choose when you want to use it, but you have to do it before you make the roll.
Can
Oh.
you stack these?
Yeah, you can stack them.
You have to decide before you make the roll. So I'd have to say,
Yes.
okay, I'm going to roll perception and I'm going to add my cross reference.
That is correct.
Okay.
Where's the Cliff Notes clue? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Exactly.
Where is it?
Meanwhile, Cattell is just up and Valor's just up in that room, just like looking at.
I'm kind of looking at
Wynn,
books,
digging
playing
through
with the
paperwork.
flame of the candle, you know.
Okay. As useful as that is, that's not useful in the moment. Great. Okay, I'm gonna go check, I guess, this door and see. I want to see if it's locked.
All right. You head over to this door and check it, and it's locked.
Okay, I'll dash across and do the other one as well, just to see if they're both locked.
Lexi's there.
You dash across the 10 feet to the other door. So fast. That door's locked as well.
All right.
Yo.
I'm gonna. Sure, I think nobody's down here. I'm just gonna kind of say, and knowing that I echoed last time, I'll be like, I've got 2 locked doors here.
Coming.
So as you say that,
I trigger a monster. Great.
Here comes the dragon.
The tree comes to life.
the dragon comes down. Yes.
It's a tree dragon, guys. It's a tree dragon.
Actually, the tree does start to shake. The leaves start to shake, and you hear.
Oops.
Do we hear that from upstairs?
No, you hear the wonderful orchestral sounds of the concert that's playing.
Are you gonna move me?
Huh?
I did the thing to move.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
At this point, I'll probably start pacing and checking my pocket watch more and more.
Okay.
Goodness, Val. Gosh.
On that note, you do the door upstairs opens up, and you see your friend.
It's your gal. Oh no.
Yep. So she is she opens the door and is looking in to basically check on you. About you.
At the sound of the door, I quickly rub the card, slide it across the floor, and hope for the best, and then close the door too, hoping that it actually is me looking through pages of a book somehow. No specifications.
Okay,
Wait, what?
let's do. How about a? I don't even know how to pronounce this word correctly. Legerdemain?
Legerdemain?
Demain? Yes. It's French. French. All right.
Oh, that
Whip
word.
it out.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Désolé pour les Français en l'audience ce soir. Les stupid Americans.
16.
All right, you flick it out across the room. It spins through the air and slides along right up next to into a bookshelf, and then suddenly a new valve springs into life, pouring over right at the books, just kind of looking through them, and you hear as you're holding the door back closed, you hear, "Oh, pardon the interruption," and then the door closes.
I try like you could tell.
Cattell shakes her head.
Perhaps we should hurry things up downstairs.
Probably. Do we
You're
send
serious?
Win?
Let's just go.
Win or
We must
falls down
hurry.
the stairs. And sets off 10 traps. No.
I
No,
gesture.
she wouldn't.
But they were
actively.
all 3 feet high, so they just right over. It just keeps going.
Smells like ducking left and right. Get through.
What the hell?
Oh.
So you two head downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I lost you. Now, where are you? Over here. Get over here. All right. Okay, you should be able to. You see now?
Yes.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least the hall.
Yeah. Okay. So you come down to there. One moment. Lexi, as you're coming around to meet up with Lorna, the tree is shaking something vicious, and that's where that noise is coming from. Do you continue on, or do you?
Tree's shaking? What?
The tree, this tree right here, is shaking.
Did it just start shaking?
Yeah, that was that weird noise I made earlier.
You made a weird noise earlier. Only missed that.
Welcome to the game.
I know. I'm awake now.
Is this thing on?
I know. Seriously. I'm like, I totally did not hear you say something about the last. I was just waiting to go pick a lock.
No, it's when I called out, then it made like a growl kind of noise.
because
and
we're
started shaking.
echoing. I just remember saying something about the echoing. I didn't know anything with the tree.
Yeah.
So,
She's. This is a good book.
this is a book.
I mean, it reads.
Yeah. So the tree is rattling. It made this grinding, growly noise.
Oh, so it's okay. That's great.
Cedric, you hear this as well.
From the center round.
Yes, from behind you. Yeah.
I'm assuming I hear it as well.
You sure do, and you because you went, ooh, because it's like right after you spoke.
I'm gonna start moving back towards Lexi.
Yeah. Yikes.
Okay, so you're making your way back there. Lexi, what are you doing?
Do I see them starting to come?
No, because you're in where it depresses down.
Okay,
And you have
so
big
is
bookshelves and
is
such.
it like just vibrating at this point, or is it like starting to like?
As you look closer, you see
Like-
on the trunk of the tree. It's probably a good just 8 feet around the trunk. It's massive. This massive trunk on this tree, and you see it's almost pulsing, and like a rippling, pulsing effect across the surface of the tree.
Okay, so the tree is pissed at us for making noise. I mean, I'm backing away from it, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so she backs it. You see her backing out,
like I'm like keeping my like eyes on the tree, but I'm backing away slowly, like, oh, this isn't good.
From the depression. You two down here, further down the hall, you see Lexi's light, definitely, but you have darker vision, so you can see, but her light extends it even further. Do you join them?
Probably, yeah. Do we hear any of this going on? Like,
No, as you draw closer, you still hear, because it's not making the groaning noise anymore. It's just now the tree is shaking. So as you get closer, and you're like, oh, there's a tree, because where you were, you could see the tree from that distance. But as you draw closer, you see this tree, and it's shaking, not quite as violently as it was before.
but it seems agitated.
It seems agitated for a tree.
They're
They're usually a very gentle people.
If I hear their footsteps behind me, I'm going to turn around and just hold my finger up to my lips and then gesture at the tree and back like that. So my finger, like,
Now, I don't know if any of you guys are zoomed in, if you notice the subtlety on this effect here, but if I back you guys up, notice that your dark vision is in black and white, but when
Yeah.
you move it to the light, it becomes color.
That's cool.
I saw that.
yeah, it's cool.
So the tree's undulating.
And
Could I-
rippling.
And rippling. Could I assume, or could I check to see if this is in fact a monstrous creature? Or I'm attempting to use my monster lore ability or technique.
Which is
Connected
that
to my
technique is based on
Inquisitor, I think.
you can use your intuition score on a knowledge skill check in addition to your acumen score. So you're going to probably have to roll this just with the regular, outside, because I don't have a thing built in there for that.
Okay, just tell me what I need to add.
You'll need your
Roll a d20.
d20 plus your acumen,
Okay.
and also your intuition, and then what ability, because it's a knowledge check.
Mhm.
So just since you don't specialize in that particular thing, it's just a straight knowledge check. So just roll that and add the bonuses to it.
Okay, got it.
Also, from being from Petra, would I have heard of this through lore?
Let's find out. Let's do a lore check. It is not a monster. It's not a monster or anything that you're familiar with, Cedric.
Okay.
Val, you recall, like, those who hung around the university and such would talk about the erudite guardian, but you never. There was always like just spoken in that way, not necessarily what it was, and this might be it. As you see on the surface of the tree where it's rippling, suddenly a face comes out of it.
Would I be at all familiar with this? I mean, I've got
Maybe not
knowledge of
this-
botany and
Yeah, not the
Thank you.
specific
Okay.
one, but this is not shocking.
yeah. Is Win back on my shoulder, or is Win down here somewhere running around?
Yeah, you don't see when.
Okay.
I whisper to the group, "This is the Guardian."
Cedric looks back.
What? Guardian?
Presumably, it protects the knowledge down here, being its location and the definition of a guardian.
Cedric looks at you.
Okay.
Looks back to the tree.
Face on the tree starts to now it's taken more form. You see it kind of creak and as its head turns. Come forward.
Ooh.
Cedric looks to the rest of the group.
I'm going to step forward.
Cedric looks to each other as Lorna moves forward.
Cedric, gripping the hilt of his rapier, follows closely behind.
Lexi, Del, Bow, what are you guys doing?
I was gonna step forward.
Okay. Like that. How about you two back here? Coming forward?
Can I tell if it's noticed me?
It doesn't seem to have locked on to any person just yet. It's like looking around.
Okay.
I'm going to stealthily move over this way and stay behind pillars or whatever is over there to kind of be out of sight, possibly, if that's a thing.
Ping me where you're heading.
Like this direction.
I totally cannot see that. All right, try again. I had the wrong thing turned on. I was looking through your eyes, and so I'm only seeing.
That way, to the left.
Okay. Okay, so you kind of move over here.
Give me a roll like stealth.
And what you hope is very. Oh, I rolled it.
Oh.
You hope you're being stealthy. You feel stealthy.
Yeah, I'm hiding behind this column here. That's
okay. Tell. What about you?
So I'm going to move so I'm within 30 feet.
All right.
But kind of hang
Right
back.
back here.
So...
Actually, just one square in front of you would be about 30 feet.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that because I want to be able to engage with either side of me. So I've stepped forward.
Okay. So you take a step, just one cautious step forward as your companions move into the space. You're not sure. You saw Val moving to this off to your side, but he's now out of your sight line. The three of you, as you step forward, it's and then locks on to say Lorna. She was the first one in the space. Locks on. What is it you seek?
We think a book or some form of knowledge of elemental plane minerals, the way gates for them.
There are many books on way gates. Where is your signet?
Didn't we have something? I thought we had like some kind of. Did we just have the letter, or did we have something else?
just the letter.
Just the
This
letter.
is the letter.
Great. We don't really have a signet. I don't, at least. Maybe one of my companions, but
Intruders.
not exactly. We actually. I don't know why I just went British.
Now listen here, chap.
Well, accents hard. Not sort of not. And I'm gonna look at Cedric like,
He's just looking at you with his big round eyes.
not helping.
Shakes his head.
Yeah, I got no abilities with this kind of plant, guys. I got nothing.
I mean, technically we have permission.
I mean, technically,
We have a letter.
we don't have.
Not for this floor.
He doesn't know that. Like
We
letter.
well, How could we have gotten down here if we didn't have permission, though? It's guarded, isn't it?
True. What brings you to my abode?
Just need to learn about way gates to the elemental plane of minerals. That's all. Not taking anything. No theft.
Proceed. But I am watching.
Could you perhaps point us in the right direction?
I could point, but I have no hands.
That's fair. Maybe which hallway we should go down, or where exactly the knowledge would be located. Not
The
pointing.
caretaker is here for that.
Thank you. We'll be quick. And I'm just gonna like kind of start to step back and probably into Lexi.
Yeah, boom.
Start looking.
Right. And I'm gonna just shove Lexi towards the doors that I knew were locked because I don't know where else to go.
Yeah, Cedric also backs away.
Once I see Cattell, I'm gonna go. Where's Win?
He was with us a second ago. But you know, she's
Win.
also fast.
Cedric.
Yeah.
Cedric says to the group,
There is a hallway over there. It has doors in a magical nature. Doors need keys. Come look.
he
There's doors
senses
this way. Same thing, but no magic.
Magic this way.
I'm gonna kind of stay where I'm at and keep an eye on our
So
six.
kind of like in the split section there, so you can see all
See
angles.
everything, yeah.
I'll follow Cedric.
I'm going to start walking around whispering, Win! Win! So I'll just like start circling around the circle.
So Cedric, you're heading back to where you were with Val.
As we're walking over there, I look up to him and go, perhaps it just wants us to leave?
Can't leave until mission is complete.
I shake my head.
Wow.
That is great.
Cedric completely ignores or does not notice the pun.
How far have I gotten from Lexi and Cattell?
I'll move you here in just a second. I'm just moving these two over here. Okay, so that's where you guys are. So, Val, you see these shimmering barriers as well.
Mhm.
Now, Lorna, kind of skirting around. You're over here. Cattell, you're staying there. Lexi, where are you going?
Have I ever picked magical locks before?
Nope.
That I know, yeah. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna go the direction that Lorna was in, because I know that there's two doors that I can probably pick really quick just to glance in to make sure that it's absolutely not where we need to look.
Gotcha. Okay. Meantime, Cattell, there's no signs of anything just yet, although you do note the tree, the face kind of pulls slightly back and is inside, but you can still kind of see the facial features and it's no longer shaking. Outside of that, there's no movement outside of your
I'm also
your
gonna
companions.
keep an eye out for Wen, maybe pull out a little food to try and tempt her without actually calling out to her or anything. Just nibble on it, kind of tease her.
Okay. Cedric, Val, what you guys doing over here?
Looking at the doors with using my Arcana skill, maybe.
I've examined the area with my eyes. I can't find a switch or symbol to open the doors.
I'll do perception then.
It was like skidding on the 19.
Did you roll it?
Yes, 18.
That's 18. Success.
We think.
Right. That's what it says.
Yes. So you approach the. One of you does. Approach the portal space, and you're checking around it. You see just on the interior, as it's pulsing the glow, you see runes carved in all the way around the threshold. Outside of that, isn't anything else noticeable.
I don't suppose I recognize what type of runes they are, or
make
any
a
significance.
that's an arcane theory check.
No.
Nope.
I point to the runes around the door. There.
Meanwhile, back over on the other side, is Lorna continuing around or showing Lexi where the doors are?
I'm going to turn to Lexi and say, we're not alone in here. Besides the tree. If you can open the doors quietly, do it. I'm going to keep looking.
All right. I can do that.
And I'll keep circling around.
Okay. Come around there. You're down here. You see a door to the left and a door to the right.
I'll do the door to the left first. And I'm checking it out, make sure, I don't spot anything out of the
Alright.
norm.
That would be me doing that. Nothing jumps out at you other than that it's a standard lock.
Alrighty. So I am going to try and pick the lock. I have to find where that is.
Devices. It's under abilities, about halfway down.
There it is. Okay.
Nice.
Yay!
But not
That's a
nice
six.
enough.
It's a success. I
Wait,
had to change the thing.
Don't freak me out here.
Sorry, I
so
forgot
appalled.
to hit the DC button every single time so, before those go. Okay. You hear ear, and you feel the sweet sensation of an open lock.
Alrighty. I am going to open and peek in, see what's in there. Very carefully.
Right, the door opens. In the meantime, Lorna, as you come over into this part, you see the other hall that extends further back, and you hear shuffling, quiet, and almost like mumbling, but very, very quiet.
Uh,
I could see your brain working like
I
a
know,
Tom
it's like-
Hardy man going, "That's bait."
Smoke's coming out her ears.
things happening that in my I'm going to do I see Win anywhere or no? Okay. I'm
No,
going
you know
to
she's around. She's close.
yeah. I'm going to inch forward and just far enough like here, I guess, kind of so I can see a little bit.
Okay, as you come in, you see there are some bookshelves in this space, both sides.
Which side do I hear the shuffling coming from?
Over
Can I
there.
tell?
Yeah, you see my ping.
Yeah. I'm going to step around the corner a little bit to see if I can see what's or who or.
There is a bookshelf. At the top of this bookshelf right here, you see Win.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll cross over here so that I can see, kind of peek around the bookshelf so I can try and see around it.
And you peek around, nothing there.
I'll look up at Win. And just frown and scrunch up my nose at him or at her, excuse me. And I guess I'll move a little. The way that she was motioning, is it that aisle or is it further down?
Probably this next aisle.
Okay.
And you definitely now it sounds as if like the muffling's got quiet, but you hear like breathing.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to scoot just a tad over and peek around the corner to see.
There's somebody there.
Hello?
You
Not here to hurt you. I promise.
see this guy. I hope you can see that.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Crouched on the floor, there you see there's a cart with books on it, and several books like laying around him. And he turns his head in your direction and kind of scoots back. He's crouched on the floor, scoots back into the bookshelf, but he's seems to be looking your direction, but not at you.
Look behind me. Is there anything behind me?
No, although Win leaps and pounces on your shoulder and
Need to get some better armor for that. Some shoulders, bracers, something. Jeez. Do you work here?
I gotta make a check to see if I talk to you. Who is it? You're not supposed to be here.
We're sort of here just to find some information. We're not really here to hurt anyone. Maybe you could help us and then we could leave a lot faster.
Meanwhile, back over at the magic doors, over here. You both, well, finish rolling, thank you. Yeah. You two hear Lorna talking. But just, you can't make out her words, you just know she's speaking to somebody.
This seems normal to me.
Yeah, it's like,
This
not
is
gonna win again.
not normal to me.
Uh,
Cursed being.
Cattell, you also do. Lexi, you do not.
I head that direction stealthily.
All right.
I watch Val sneaking away, just watching him go. And I turn around, and I'm confused a little bit, and I decide to go north to check
Okay.
out the one place I haven't gone. Oh, that's the way the Val's going.
Yeah.
I'm staying put.
Okay. So as you come around here, you see it opens up into another room back this way. And you see that this room has bookshelves and such on it. And you see Lorna is off to your right. Now,
I reach out with my hand gently to Cedric's shoulder, and I do this.
Cedric's just looking at you. He like steps away just a little bit.
all right. Lexi, you've opened the door and you see a room with a bookshelf beyond, right directly in front of you.
I'm gonna browse, see if there's anything.
Okay, you step in. Go ahead and research or perception.
What? I got my perception.
Just rolled a 56.
Why? How? I don't understand how these dice roll.
They exploded.
They explode. So if you roll a
She rolled like
d20,
two
you get
20s.
20, you get to roll another one and add it. Well, she rolled two 20s in a row.
And guess what it was on? Perception. It's our thing.
She's like, this one. Which is interesting for this particular room, too, as you pull the book out. And it doesn't feel as heavy as the book its size should. And when you open it up, you see that there's this, it's actually a book that has been cut out, and sitting inside is a tube, or like a cylindrical like looking device that's like in almost like in rings that go around it. And on these rings are different shapes.
Okay. So, tube, rings, different shapes.
Yes.
Like combination-y type thing to try to figure out? That's what I'm picturing in my head.
Yes.
Okay.
Like they would, looks like the rings move.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can... Is it a clear tube?
No, it's made of brass.
Okay, so it's a solid tube.
I think I know what this is. That's cool.
You're a whisper in my ear.
Sorry. No, this is my nerdy history, like guessing what this could be, because I watch a lot of historical
Voices in
documentaries.
my head, they need to stop.
Sorry.
No, I'm just joking.
Now we know the voices that Lexi hears in her head. It's Cattell. It's been Cattell all these years before they'd ever met.
I'm going to see if I can get it open. I'm like, assuming it's like another lock that I could try to figure out.
All right.
To
So you
pop
start
open, like listening for clicking or all that stuff as I try to do that. So what do I?
All right. Devices.
This is where I need the exploding 20.
Yeah, really. Like whip out a 56.
Jesus Christ!
All right. So you're like it's.
Uh-oh.
And you need to make an agility reaction roll. So that would be the little, I'm sorry, dexterity, not agility. Dexterity, using the die, not the word. Oh wait! Before you,
Oh.
What?
I want that roll.
You get to keep it. That's fine. It would
Okay.
have even before I said it's still a fail. As along the sides, these little needles shoot out
Jesus
right into your
Christ.
hands.
Ouch.
Let's see.
Oh.
And you
Man,
take.
19 is a fail. That's rough, man.
The breaks.
Tough took us.
Ow.
I hope there's like it's not like old
No, I'm
rusty
like,
and now you're
this could be
diseased
really
or
bad.
poisoned.
It's all right, I got
take
you.
a point of damage, of vitality damage, and you feel like and you drop the cylinder on ting 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 as it drops, and you look at your hand where the needles has stuck in, and it's all red or like around where it went in.
Okay.
And then you notice as you're staring, you notice like the palm of your hand where it was sitting at, you start to see like the red starting to move.
Okay. I scoop up the tube and I'm gonna get to them as quick as possible.
I really gotta work on the music.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, Catel's just standing there,
All
just
right.
like, what are you guys doing?
Ran right by her.
Can I tell I mean, I'm assuming there's a sense of urgency at this point.
Yeah, you just see her bolt down where the where you saw Lorna go. She just bolts down that direction.
Okay.
Now, prior to that, you did hear a clangy noise. That was pretty loud. So you're ting, 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 ting. The tree shook a little with the noise, and then she just comes running.
If I see the light come up, can I turn and like just put a stop hand up, like, whoa?
Yeah, you
Okay.
could. Well, you can hear her feet.
Yeah.
Because she's coming, and you turn and you see her kind of hold your hand up for her to stop. You actually caught her about right there is when she comes around the corner, and you're like, all right. That puts us about around the same time frame this conversation's going. So this elderly gentleman he still scoots away. Still, his head just kind of is like moving like side to side, and he seems to be looking past you. What are you doing here?
Searching for some knowledge.
What is to keep me from screaming and alerting the gods?
Well, I suppose nothing if you really wanted to, but you seem rather frightened. Is there something here that's scaring you, besides me, apparently?
You woke the guardian. You're not supposed to be here.
Actually, the guardian just spoke with us. He told us to hurry. Told me to find someone who could help us.
I was told no one would be here this evening.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion. Not bad. Not bad.
Get some good vibes.
You have a very cute creature on my shoulder. Come on.
Yes. Wayne is just
Advantage if Wynn is with me.
bleak, bleak.
Use.
Yeah.
Could you perhaps help us find what we're looking for?
Why should I help you? You will get me in trouble.
It'll make us leave faster.
So will the gods.
Yes, but I mean, we haven't really done anything. We're just trying to gain knowledge.
Who sent you here? You're not supposed to be here.
I'm gonna look over at Val like,
DM, do I have any gold on me or any kind of money? I don't see it on my sheet.
Yeah, I didn't put it on the sheets. I didn't want to get into the minutia of money. You got money.
Okay.
Come on, you're Val. You got money.
Lorna probably doesn't. I'm gonna be real honest.
Yeah. I'm for Laura's probably she's like, yeah, I can't wait to get paid. Yes, if you have served on the crew, you have some money.
I toss her my coin purse or whatever's in there. And I'll nod.
Oh, just do a little dex check on that, just for see how this works out.
Because I don't want it to alert that there's more than just her. This dude's blind. Do I need to do one too?
No, she has. Maybe if she missed, I'd be like, okay, right. She's just. You fling it to her and she catches it.
I we could pay you.
So, when he tosses it and it lands in your hands, you see his head just kind of turn more focused in your direction. Still not making eye contact with you though, but look straight in your direction.
Who else is here?
Just a friend of mine. I promise no one's going to hurt you.
It's no friend of mine.
Can you see me?
He doesn't respond.
I turn to Cedric and just make motions like a vial and drinking, and then point and then.
Cedric nods, cracks his knuckles, and then starts walking forward.
Okay.
Really
in that direction?
Towards Lorna and Old Man.
All right, let me see how stealthy you are.
Do I have an invisibility potion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
how's that going to help
take
versus
it.
a blind
if he's
man?
blind, I don't think it
Blind. It's not gonna matter.
I
It
don't
doesn't
know
make
that.
him silent.
But I don't know that in character.
Yeah, Val doesn't know that. He hasn't seen this guy.
The only
All right,
person
I
that's seen
did just
him,
say, "Can you see me?"
He didn't respond.
he didn't respond.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
But
so
that's
as you're
a
looking
lot.
at him, he suddenly leans his head over to his right side, your left. Leans his head and then starts scooting up and starts picking himself up off of the floor and shoves on his cart. The cart tips over and books go sprawling across the floor.
Deceiver! Deceiver, you've come to kill me!
Cedric will run forward at this point.
Okay.
This is why you don't talk to people during a heist.
And do what?
This is why I'm going to die.
Well, he's right there in front of you. What do you do?
He runs up to him, grabs him, lifts him up, and says,
I'm a student here studying economics.
Jesus.
Do I hear any of this going on?
Val's about to just
Sadly,
click
you're
the
picking
curve.
up pieces of it, which sounds like completely like, what the hell is going on? Because you saw Lexi take off running, and then suddenly you hear this yelling. You thought you heard somebody say economics. You're like, what are we?
I'm
That's
gonna
about
say-
what you've caught.
I'm going to say to Win, "Go get the rest." And I'm gonna hold out my arms so that she can run, and then I'm going to dash forward towards Cedric and be like, "Put him down! Put him down!"
Okay.
is
Wind
Val-
bounds away. Lexi, what are you doing back here?
I'm
I don't
trying
know
to.
who
Val
else is
signaled
here.
for you to knock him out.
Okay.
All I know
You've
is that
got
Val and
so
Cedric,
Cedric
are here.
has
That's
him
it.
up. He's got him, and he's got him pressed up against the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Lorna, you're there trying to talk him down. Lexi, you're standing there like,
I'm sorry, like I'm
I'm gonna
something's
start
wrong.
going. I'm gonna start going towards all the noise.
okay.
I'm trying to look at my freaking palms.
All right, so you come up and you see Lexi standing there holding her hand.
We're hot mess.
And as you draw closer, oh, by the way, I got to roll that again. One sec. You take 2 points of damage.
Am I supposed to be marking something off?
I'm getting it. It's not, if you got to put it on your token.
Okay.
If you hover over your token too, you can see your damage. There's like a little green line.
You gotta right
And you'll see where. See it?
I see the 0, the bullseye, and the 5.
It's
and
down
Yes.
at the bottom. It's in
That's
green.
what you have. That's what you have remaining. That number is
Gotcha.
your.
Okay.
That's your vitality.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's what you Cattell sees as she comes around. She sees Lexi kind of holding her, and as you glance over, she's got the light that from upstairs kind of by it, and you see her hand is all red and like swollen,
Okay.
just in the palm area, and she's kind of looking at it, and she's looking up ahead. She's looking at her hand like,
Do I
like,
see
what am I supposed to do?
the people, everyone else, like?
You see Val up ahead of you. What's Val doing with this situation that just occurred?
He gave an order, so he's turning back to check on Lexi.
Okay.
Yeah. Cedric, responding to the order, looking at Val, says,
I am
Val.
thirsty.
What?
I'm going to step forward.
Okay.
Halt. That is enough.
Who are you directing that to?
Everybody.
I'm pulling
Oh.
Cedric's arm. I'm like trying to pull Cedric
All
out.
right. So
like,
here's
away.
what the scene is. So you got Cedric here. He's got this guy pinned up against this bookshelf. Lorna is on his arm and pulling him down. Cedric says something about thirsty. Val, you kind of turn around to check on Lexi. You see Lexi's stand like holding a light next to her hand, and she's kind of looking at you, her hand, you, and like that. When Cattell comes, sweeps around the corner and says, "That is enough." Or I'm sorry if I paraphrased that, but I thought that was something like that.
Right. Put the gentleman down.
You cannot see the gentleman.
I can't. I'm not close enough.
Mm-mm.
Okay, then I'm going to step forward until I can see everybody.
Okay, they're like way over here behind some bookshelves.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that. So I
That's
will
okay.
walk over to where all of the chaos is happening.
Okay, Val, she's kind of walking up with purpose.
At this point, I'm just going to continue walking towards Lexi.
Okay. You pass each other like two ships in the night. All right, you come around the corner, and this is what you see here. As you come around the corner, though, I do get the reactions between you because Lorna is yanking on your arm. Cedric, do you let him go, or are you still holding on to him? If she's pulling on your arm. And then this man is like, "Help! Help! Gods! 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 Gods!"
So, okay, so Cedric's just gonna like lower him, but then like clamp a hand over his mouth.
Okay. So it's in his head. It's like we're around. You're like, you finally get over him. Are you still yanking on his arm, Lorna?
Yeah, I'm still like, please just stop. He was just talking to me.
We are students here. She studies mathematics.
So this guy's jerking around as you're pulling. You're yanking on his arm. Keeps popping him in the face, like, and now you see like a trickle of blood coming out of his mouth as he's like, as he's still trying to cover him up.
I'll stop, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to.
Yeah, he's just sobbing. He's scared. You got your hand over his mouth now. Now you're no longer hitting him. It's nice and secure. So he's all.
And I'm hearing Cattell. I'm gonna look over my shoulder, like,
yes.
Utterly.
And that's when she comes around and is like, "Stop this."
That is enough. I go up to the guy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get a good look at him.
All right, so he's got him pressed up against with his hand over his mouth. He looks. Did you see the picture?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you see him there, and he looks like he's in a panic, and you see tears,
Okay.
blood smudged all. You see like the black marks of the blood
Mhm.
from on Cedric's hand.
Is he like hurt at all, or is it just like scraped his
Superficial.
lip? Yeah.
Superficial. It's like
Okay.
he popped him. He split his lip.
I'm going to take his hand very gently. Sir?
Cedric's.
No, not Cedric.
Oh, this guy. Okay. So
The older man's hand. And I'm going to look at Cedric. Lower your hand.
The minute Cedric does that, I'm gonna shove him back.
I apologize for the roughness that you've been handled with. I am a watcher, and I am here to help you. Kind of wipe some of the tears away.
You touch him, he lurches back.
It's all right.
Gods!
I am.
Gods!
Cedric starts
Help me!
walking forward again.
And I'm like doing this, but he's probably able to keep just shoving me.
Sir, I need you to calm down. I'm here.
Me a persuasion.
Okay.
Ooh.
Rolled one now. Am I the only one?
That was beautiful.
That reads, guys. It makes sense. We got this.
Yeah. He gives you his number. All right, so he quiets down now, and he's a wreck. He's like just hunched over and just twitching, but he's not making any noise. He's quiet, and he's just like afraid to move almost.
My apologies for my late arrival. I have come to escort some students to finish some research. We're not here to do any harm to you. That is not the point.
Why did you strike me?
I believe that your reaction to new people might have flustered the individuals. That is my fault. I should have been here when they came.
Sorry.
That one is strange. But he
Wouldn't
means
give
no
me-
harm.
I'm gonna give Cedric my just like
means so hard,
most
but he's got blood.
matron. Like I'm trying to look like my mom scolding my little brothers. Like, what's wrong with you?
He says,
What is your name?
They only call me Watcher.
I am not familiar with this name.
I'm not exactly old school here. I am new, and that is partially why there has been this fumble. Are you all right?
I don't know, make another persuasion check, we'll find out.
Bastard!
She wove in another one. Look at
Dirty,
Man.
dirty 20?
could tell of the
very
silver
persuasive.
tongue.
Yeah.
I will have to check with Sethus on this.
Of
he
course.
starts to reach out on the shelf, and he's like, you see him padding around on the shelves, and he gets a
I
hold of
look
him
at the
and he pulls
others
himself
and
up.
I give them the motion, hurry up.
Cedric nods and backs away into the shadows.
And I kind of just stay with the old man, and I'm going to try and slow him down by being very attentive and like wiping his tears, checking his bloody lip, just anything I can to just calm him down, have him focused on me, and not like go anywhere.
In the meantime, down here in the hall, Val, you approach. Okay. I'd like drug my screen up to that.
I know, mine zoomed in too.
Yeah,
I was like,
this has a
whoa.
lot of power. I forgot.
Um,
I will follow Cedric also. I'm just gonna follow Cedric because I'm like,
Okay.
Okay. Still don't know what I'm looking for.
Books.
down the hall here, Val, you see that Lexi's palm of her hand is swollen up and red, and you see red streaks kind of going down her forearm.
What did this to you?
This. And I show him the tube. And are the needles still out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this. I found this and it was trying to unlock it. It was in one of the locked rooms. Does it hurt? And like, is it burning my hand? I like.
Yeah. It's a
okay.
Painful burning sensation.
Burning. Please help.
Oh, as she shows me the device, I'm more concerned with the hand, but I take it from her and put it in my pocket, like in just a move, and go back to her hand.
Okay.
I'm checking my sheet. I don't see anything for healing or any kind of
Be
abilities
treat.
to.
And I don't think you have it.
No.
Yeah, anybody can do basic first aid, like with like stabilizing someone, just kind of like stop, but anything complicated would require a treat skill. Only one of you has.
I don't even know how to even roll to see what this is. I'm sure it's some sort of poison or something.
You think? Don't say it's
We
poison.
know who has those abilities. Like, would we know each other well enough at this point? Nope. Cool.
You'd have a general sense of your current, like the longer standing crew, but you know none of them. One of the people that got kicked off for messing with you was treated, and you have a doctor on the ship, but she doesn't leave the ship,
right?
For reasons we'll discuss later.
Well, I'm doing my thing, so.
Yeah, you're busy.
It's burning, please.
All right, so the two of you guys kind of looking around, do your check. Let me know if you're going to use any bonuses with that.
Yep. I'm going.
You are?
The +5.
And
right.
I will give him my. Can I give him my +3?
Yeah.
And DM,
Or
I sent
should I
you
roll?
a message on Discord.
I'm not in Discord. Can you
Thought
do
you
it in
were.
the...
Actually,
no, I'm using the Zoom chat for it.
Oh, well, this is a private thing.
No, I mean, I did a private
Oh.
Zoom chat.
You can also /W in virtual tabletop.
What's that?
Cedric,
yeah,
do
you
you
can,
want-
yeah, but it just can accidentally pop up on the screen. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you, does Cedric want me to give him the +3 or does he want me to roll separately?
Gotcha.
I don't want to med too hard, but are you good at looking around for stuff?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, I'm pretty good.
I mean, I don't really know what the difference is in the system. Sometimes I'm like, if this was D&D, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm
it's
quite,
comparable,
I'm quite
yes.
good
So
for
yes, if it
level
looks
1.
good in 5th edition, it's good here too.
Yeah, I'm quite good for a first level.
Okay, I'll give you my +3 then. You have an extra
Okay.
+3.
So add +8 to this, I guess. We're gonna combine our clues.
So if you do on your sheet up there at the top, on the top sheet where it says
Oh,
mod,
I
if
see,
you put,
mod, yeah.
if you put 8 in there, it'll just
Doink.
automatically do it.
Okay, so here it comes. As Cedric's mind goes into overdrive.
Well, he gets the books and his clues.
Beautiful
and he's kind of
mind.
using that.
Ooh. Nice.
And he finds some more stuff.
More clues. No.
Let's see here. You find this, the card
Oh, man.
catalog.
Oh, this is good.
So
This is good, right?
This will tell if you play this. It'll tell you how many clues can be found in any 2 rooms.
Okay. Okay. All right, use that one. Oh. All right, that's what I find. Uh-oh. Am I disconnected? Can you guys hear me?
No, I heard you.
Okay.
I'm responding to Val here.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. Okay, back to you. What was it?
So I find the note cards. That's it for this room? I'm able to find.
That is what your check found. Do you want to use the card catalog to see if there's more clues in this room?
This is a very large room, so I guess so. I don't know. So remaining, I have a clue that lets me look for another clue. Lets me double look for a clue.
You can use this in 2 rooms. So if you use it here, you'll have 1 room left.
Okay, but I also have a clue that lets me look up at once more.
Yes, you can look
Okay.
twice in a room.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I guess I'll use the note cards once here, and then I have 1 more use of it.
All right, there is 1 more clue in this room.
According to these notes, there's 1 more clue in this room.
All right. Start looking around, seeing if I can find another clue.
I've
Roll
looked as much as
away.
I can in this room.
Yeah.
I'm out of ideas.
I think you were out of ideas when you decided to pin the man to the bookcase.
Yes.
Start searching for another clue.
All right, give me a roll. In the meantime, back in the good roll. Val,
Mhm.
Lexi, what's going on there? Oh, I have to take more damage. Hold on. 2 more points of damage. Where are you? All right.
Did I notice any kind of poultices or anything upstairs in the main room that we were staying in, or anything about just books in the library?
Any type of
like
I didn't hear what.
potions or healing kits or anything? First aid, tucked away in the corner.
No, not in the rare books room now. It's up to your bicep now, Lexi.
If it's going to your heart,
I am in pain. I'm just like, it burns, and I'm starting like hyperventilate because it's burning so bad and hurting.
I'm going to do something, and do you trust me?
I don't know. Make it stop.
I touch her arm, and we back towards the entrance.
Oh,
okay.
To the
I
secret
spend
library.
as many points as possible to get back to the main entrance.
Can you do that?
It said I could do something like that to maximize.
Yeah, I know you can do
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know if you can do exactly that. I thought you had to have line of sight. Or it's
I was hoping I could
you
bank
can,
off of memory.
you can do close range.
Okay.
It's not an issue. That's distances you only have, but you could spend to do medium range. Let me look here. See how much that's going to be. You could almost get to the front of this chamber with a spending of a point of essence.
Okay. Well, there's some sense of urgency, so yeah.
Now, hold on a sec. Yeah, let me make sure you could take somebody with you too. Nightcrawler. Yes, because you could spend a standard action and teleport yourself and up to a heavy load, and yeah, you can.
And willing creature.
She's
yeah.
light. Yep. Okay. All right. Boom. That's for you too. So, describe what happens to her, because this is your effect. So,
Ooh.
Val.
I didn't really read the description. So
it's very vague, specifically. So it is unique to you. So how this works.
I mean, it would be very similar. Like it's a puff of ethereal smoke or something. Maybe it has some kind of not glitter, but kind of star vibe to it. Like then the tendrils like are starry, and then we just come out in the same way.
All right, so he kind of grabs you and pulls you a little bit closer to him, and you see like a shadow just very start to come out, and then like little tendrils of darkness just wrap, and you see little stars and such like glimmering in it, like wrap around you, and then just as fast as that happened, they're gone, and you're standing in the front.
Still in pain.
On, we got these two moving up. Give me a perception check, Tel. Just because you're moving, you may have caught that.
Perception.
Did that take?
I got a 17.
Yep. You did. You see as you're coming around, you're with them, and you not as vividly as that. You see like almost like a because Lexi had the light that just kind of like flashed and then darkness, and then because you could see in color in her light, and then everything just kind of goes black and white, and they're not there anymore. You don't know if it was a trick of your eyes or what have you, but you swear there was light there, and now it's gone.
Because I have the same spell, would I recognize it?
That'd be Arcana.
Much whispering.
Yeah. That makes it hard for
Voices
me.
in my head again.
Nope. Didn't recognize it.
So,
cool.
yeah, you cannot confirm if that. All you can suspect, but you cannot confirm. You're like, yeah,
Okay.
and that doesn't work. That's not how you do it anyway. But,
Right.
But
Okay.
you're like, that's odd.
All I know is that they've bolted. Cool.
Yeah,
Or
but
something
They
weird
are
had
no longer there.
Cool. I'm just chatting up the guy, asking him about, how he became a librarian here,
Oh, well then do me a persuasion check and you might find something
Yeah,
out.
I'm just chatting with the guy.
Well, no, not for bad. Let's see if he opens up to you and tells you anything.
Oh, okay.
I lost my page.
I'm trying to pull out my where am I? It's up here. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
My
All right, so
backstory is coming into play here. I know what I'm doing.
So this is what you find, Lorna, with that help.
Oh. Okay, not terribly. I'm gonna hold it up to Cedric. Do you know what an Oracle of Veth is?
Do I know what an Oracle of Veth is?
No.
No.
Apparently, that's the clue we have here.
And no bonuses.
This text gives the. I can't read this. It's very hard. It's very hard.
What it says.
Ironclad prophecies that failed.
This text gives a detailed analysis of hundreds of proclaimed ironclad prophecies that have failed since the disappearance of the Oracle of Veth. The author speculates that any prophecy made by Vethians should be viewed with considerable skepticism.
So they weren't failed until after the oracle disappeared.
That is what this is postulating, that since the disappearance hasn't been going well for the Vethians.
I do not know of this use, but we should keep it.
All right, I'll put it in my bag.
We should
Okay.
search elsewhere, or interrogate the librarian.
I don't.
I'm
not that far
away yet.
Or interrogate the librarian.
No, and I'll just kind of start like moving him another direction to go look. I don't know where else to look except for the magic doors that we can't get through. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's take a break.
Are you kidding me? I just.
You literally ran away from a healer because you don't know she's a healer.
That's
We
right.
probably should have had these conversations
right.
We should have had a
before.
lot of conversations before.
I
feel
am
like we
also
should
an
ask a lot of
experienced
questions.
nurse. Just so everyone is aware.
An experience what?
Nurse.
Nurse.
His bedside manner is just on point.
He worked in the morgue. He didn't need one.
No one ever complained.
All right. So 5-minute break.
Yes, 5-minute break.
All right. So everybody in 5 minutes.
All right.
And we're back.
All right. So let's Lexi, make a, as soon as I set it up here, stamina reaction roll.
Okay, so that is the dice.
The die. Yep. Nope. You take another 2 points of damage.
Ow. It friggin' burns.
You're down to uno.
Yikes.
All right, so she's looking pretty bad. You don't see the red streaks that were running up her arm at her bicep are now in. You don't see it anymore. It's up into her clothing now.
The in character, do I even know that any of them can heal?
The two newest people on your crew who you just
Okay.
met are the
Yeah.
two that would.
Then-
Yeah, you're like,
I'm
No, what you're
Taking
doing
my
makes sense to you, so it's
coat off to hide the marks on her arm, like slide it on her, and just continue through the library, trying to act as calm as possible. But when we get outside, I have other plans. So
all right. So you start up the stairs.
Really bad, really fast.
With the caretaker as Tal is walking him along. He so he's like, they took my family. They took my family and made me work here to hide their secrets.
They took your family, forced you to work here to hide their secrets. I'm sorry, that was not what I was expecting. I understand your reaction much more clearly now. Do you want to get out of here?
How can I get out of here?
Is there not a way for you to leave?
They will kill my family. They've already taken my eyes. So I cannot read the secrets.
Who is your family?
They are. I had some windows open. I gotta get back to his story here. One sec.
I have 2 boys, Max and Isaac, and my daughter Frith.
And your partner?
My wife Annika.
And what is
She was accused of being a spy.
a spy for
To
who?
come to steal their secrets. It's been 20 cycles since I've seen them.
Side
Who?
note, that's 20 years.
Who is it that is forcing you to keep these secrets?
The headmaster.
The headmaster of the academy here.
Yes.
What does he have to hide that he would go to such lengths as to separate a man from his family and blind him?
I do not know. She wasn't even a spy. She was just accused.
What is your family's name?
Tesh.
Tesh. And where are you originally from? Are you from this city or another?
We're from the outlying farmlands.
Well, removing you obviously is not a wise decision if it's going to affect your family, but I will try to help you if I can. I know what it's like to be separated from the people you care about.
If you help me, I will return the favor.
Of course. Now, there's no need, but I understand the sentiment of wanting to show likeness.
I know how to get past the doors.
Which doors?
The doors here in the library.
I cannot guarantee that I will be able to help you.
Oh, well, in that case, forget it.
I give you my word, I will try, but I don't want to leave any misconception that I have any great power to rescue you.
Just take nothing from this place. They will know you have been here.
All right. Please then, if you can help us, we would be grateful.
Take me to one of the doors.
All right, I will lead him to a door.
All right. Back in the back room, where you you have the notes on the Vethian issue. What's your plans now?
I have mad hiccups, by the way, so I'm so sorry.
I try to scare you, but I don't know if that works virtually.
Maybe you go check where your magic doors were, or where my locked doors were. I don't know.
Yes. I examined the magic doors, but I could only discover the clues that helped us find what you now carry.
Sorry.
Oh, this is like wonderful. I love it so much that Cedric has gotten the hiccups through this whole thing.
No, I don't have hiccups. It's Just
No.
the weakling that's controlling me.
I notice him having the hiccups, and I just elbow him. The gut.
Oh
His
my
body
god, that
bends
brought
in,
tears
but,
to my eyes.
but he doesn't otherwise react.
I was just trying to help.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't know much about magic other than nature magic, sort of, and some life. Anyway, we could go perhaps to yours.
Yes.
Do you know where Lexi and Val went?
No.
Right. I guess we'll start moving towards that hallway.
Okay. Which door? So where are you leading him?
Well, I didn't explore the
Right.
space. So I guess whichever one looks the biggest and baddest and the hardest to get through.
All right. So as you're passing down this way here, you do see glowing light
Okay.
deeper in that catches your eye. And heading down this way, you see two glowing barriers.
Are these the doors that are difficult to get through?
He cocks his head like he's listening.
Yes, these are two of the doors.
How do we get through? They're pulsing.
Lead me to one.
And he kind of holds his hand out.
Can I do a quick insight just to make sure he's not trying to like set off an alarm or something? Or...
Sure, that'd be an empathy check.
Okay. Okay.
Nor that success because you got to roll against me on that. You do not perceive that he is up to any shenanigans.
Okay, cool. I lead him to the door. Up screen.
Up door. Gotcha.
North. The north door.
All right.
Ian, can you throw me over there
Meantime-
so I can show off that area?
Oh,
Thanks.
yep. It's omnipresence, Val. He's everywhere the action is.
All for camera angles.
Yes. We'll fix that. I have to work with them on getting that set up. Coming soon. All right, so meantime, Cedric and Lorna are heading to which I don't remember which one of your doors you were going to. Was it the regular doors or to the magic doors?
We're heading towards the magic doors.
Gotcha. Okay.
But if I hear their voices, I'm gonna hold my hand out and stop Cedric because I know he freaks this guy out.
Okay.
So-
You do hear their voices, so you do stop. He holds his like hand out until he gets along the stone wall, and then he kind of slides it over, and you see his guy's head cocked like he's listening, and then he stops, and he speaks some arcane word, and it opens. Or at least you see it like fade in, like where it becomes more transparent, where you
Okay.
can see through it better because the light's still there.
Okay. I'll turn to him. Will passing through cause any sort of alarm and alert anyone of its passing through?
I do not bring the books into this room, but there are books within.
Because they took your sight, you wouldn't know the location of any specific information, would you? You're just here because they needed someone inside.
Yes.
All right. Can I look around and see if my companions are anywhere close?
Yeah, you You glance to your right, and you can see them kind of keeping their distance.
A couple of my companions are here. I want to invite them over and see if they can check for anything suspicious before we go through. Are you all right with that?
Very well, but he does move.
Okay. I kind of wave him over.
I'll move. I'm gonna hold my finger up to Cedric, like, don't let him hear your voice.
Don't speak.
Cedric's just looking at you. Just
Can either of you tell if there are any traps or magical alarms attached to this entrance?
Look at it and see if I see
I noticed that Val and Lexi made a quick exit. She did sound in pain, but I feel like he's probably taking care of it. A little frustrating because now that I know he does magic, he might have been the one to look into this. Regardless, can either of you sense any magical traps, any alarms, anything that would bring someone down here?
Lexi, make another stamina reaction roll.
Lexi.
Get it.
Cedric, hold your breath and take a big drink of water.
I'm trying. I'll be right back.
He had his eyes like closed, and I could tell he was holding his breath for a few minutes.
Can you explain the hero points or whatever the plot points? Because we have
I'm getting worried with the.
Because if so, I'd like to use one if I could to say that there's a healer outside the library nearby. Because I don't think we're gonna make it to the ship.
You'd be carrying her.
All right.
Stupid rolls. Dice. They're evil.
So you have spoken, so it is done.
Thank you, sir.
Just nearby, within 2 blocks of the academy, is an apothecary. In the interim, you take 3 points of damage.
Oh, no.
You are now in a poor state. You are now... Hello, come on, hands.
Is she exhausted?
She is fatigued. And she is... Well, the state is called bruised, but it is her on her way. It's wound damage, as she is now starting to head towards death's door. But you're still standing.
Hearing that Cattell said that Lexi was hurt, possibly. Correct? Is that where we were?
Yeah, because she said that I was.
That's why I paused
When
to
I
do the
passed,
stamina check.
sorry, I'm assuming that as I passed her to go and fix the tension, that I would have heard her.
You saw, when you
yeah.
glanced over, you saw her hand was
Okay.
swollen up and she was holding it. But Val was coming towards her, so that's when you
In
passed.
my
'cause you're
head, he
Val's
was
on her.
there to fix it. Yeah.
How badly was she hurt?
How much of her wound did I see?
It didn't look like there was any wound at all from what you could see from that distance, other than her hand was all red and swollen, and you could see going up her arm. But there was no visible wound that you could see because it was just a little pinprick.
Right. So I'll relay that.
And you saw that I was in pain.
Yes.
And she was, and she was definitely in pain. And I'm worried. I thought, I'm beginning to realize, this being our first expedition together, that no one knows what anybody can do. But I assumed Val was taking care of it.
Is he able to do anything if she's really hurt?
Would I know
No. Well, you know that Val takes care of the crew. He knows the city well, and things seem to go his way. So
that? Right.
He knows what he's doing. He must know what he's doing.
I believe he knows what he's doing. I don't. The fact that he didn't take care of it in the spot means probably very unlikely that he is able to heal, but they bamped out, so I'm assuming he's taken her to a place to get fixed.
Should I go after them? I can probably help, maybe.
Val has a tendency to find ways to fix problems. For now, I think it's best that we just focus on completing the reason we're here as quickly as possible and trust that he can take care of Lexi. They've been together quite a while.
Cedric nods.
I want to look around and see if is Win there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wynn's like over here. Appears to be reading a book.
Of course she does. Okay. I will look at the door and see if I can tell anything. Probably not, but why not?
It's open.
I mean, I have some Arcana abilities. Can I like?
Did I already like I scoped this out, right? And as far as I could tell, it was just barrier magic. Far stronger than mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a barrier.
I mean,
barrier
I
magic
have
stronger
some
than
Arcana.
yours.
It's not super strong, but
I examined this doorway, and it appeared to be a barrier.
No alarms, no tricks.
There's no danger that I know of.
Don't worry.
Is there no danger, librarian?
Cedric,
Yes.
don't worry. I asked his name, right? His name was. Did I
never
ask?
wrote it down. No.
His name's Isaac. Isaac Tesh.
Oh, so he named one of his sons after him. Cool. Okay.
I want to empathy check this guy as I frighten him.
I want to walk through the door.
Go for it.
While this is happening. Sure, I'll go.
She's pulling a Lexi.
I'm worried about Lexi and the fact that, I'm the healer and nobody knew that. So
all right, you walk right through the door. It feels a little tingly, but other than that, it's fine.
I'll turn around and just kind of go.
Drug.
I stare at the librarian a little bit more.
He's not looking at you.
Oh, but I don't glean like oh, I hope they okay. Then I turn back and I follow through the barrier.
All right, Lauren, you're in the space here. Are you heading in further? There's books.
Yeah, I'm walking around. I'm going to start looking for anything about waygates, elemental plane of minerals. I'm searching everywhere quickly as possible.
All right, so you step
Watch
in
us
here.
The book Wynn's reading. That's the one we need, guys.
Yeah.
Perfect. Found it.
All right, what's Cattell doing?
I'm actually going to take him to the other door. I'm going to
Okay.
try and get this moving more quickly. So I want to go open the other door so I can check out that room at the same time.
All right, Cedric, Lorna, your checks. Mother over here.
Perception, correct?
Yep.
Perception.
Mediocre for me.
Oops.
All right. That's what you find. Lorna,
Mm-hmm.
this is what you find. Prolific author. It appears that a long-dead historian wrote more than a dozen books on the topics you're researching. Perhaps you can find other insightful books by this author. You may use this clue to gain a +3 bonus on a single skill check made to find text. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cedric. This is what you find. Magical assistance. Some of the bookshelves bear a minor enchantment that aids researchers, such as briefly granting the benefits of read languages or creating an unseen servant to aid in collecting documents. After you roll a skill check to find documents, any of you can re-roll, but only once, the check before learning the result.
That's nice.
Cool.
All right.
You also find a which is different than the bookshelves you've seen elsewhere. A set of books behind glass, locked with a little lock on it.
I'm going to look closer at those. Do any of them seem like what we're looking for?
They are written in a language you do not speak.
Cedric, I don't know if you speak any of these languages, and I'll point at the bookcase. But I don't.
I walk over. What languages do I speak?
It's on your stats.
You're missing one, so I need to know what you want that third one to be.
One of the languages that's
Yeah,
in
what
this.
else do you need?
These are that one.
Yeah, could you list the languages?
Actually, I mean, if you want me to pick it for you, I know what it probably would have been.
Yeah, actually, because I have no idea.
There you go. You don't speak that language.
Which one?
The ones in the books. You don't recognize the language either.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's language I do
I don't
speak?
either, I'm assuming.
Boreal.
Boreal.
It's ice tongue.
Boreal.
I'm going to walk to the door and
Huh?
could tell there's a bookcase that's locked but we can't tell what language they're in.
I don't see languages in my stats area.
It's on the right
where-
next to mental health.
You just scroll down. in
I
stats.
apparently have no languages.
Oh, it's because I had to fix your sheet. Sorry. You do have languges.
It's just
Do I speak any of these languages?
she's just been grunting at us the whole time.
No. Yeah. What's wrong with me?
That's why she's so
Words.
persuasive.
Yes.
I have that endearing, like,
Yes.
just sound. People can't understand me, but like, oh, what a cute little, yeah. I don't know what you're saying.
She's like Nell.
Tay Tay in the wind.
So I don't speak any of the languages that are on these
No.
books.
No.
Okay.
And I'm putting your languages in here now.
Okay. I'm not
Um,
familiar with any of these.
Should we check the other room?
Yes, that's
Should we interrogate the librarian?
no, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything.
I thought librarians know language.
He's a prisoner, not a librarian.
Oh,
I'll explain more once we've finished. Right now, we need to get this job done. So,
Alright.
The other room.
All right. Another save, stamina, or reaction.
You can do it. You can do it.
What? Who? What?
Lexi.
Oh, Lexi. I was like,
I'm trying
Oh,
to.
hi.
I have
Come
so
on,
many
Lexi.
things popped up. I pulled up the wrong thing. I pulled up notes instead. Stamina.
that's bad,
That's
good,
fail.
but not bad.
Maybe it only went like a little like slower because it was a terrible.
Two more.
Fit. It's been fun, guys.
Actually doing Lexi has to roll another character.
You are no longer bruised. You are now
Oh, that's good.
hurt.
Great.
Okay. You guys make it up to the upstairs. Now you're in the rare books room. What's your plan, Val?
I mean, I'm still heading out.
Hey.
Uh,
Sorry. I just had an idea. Sorry. Go ahead.
Once I'm outside and kind of away from the crowd of the concert,
How are you getting outside?
I'm just going out the way we came, trying to be calm and cool about it, but having her arm covered, just like I said before.
Did they lock
Okay.
us inside of the room?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Pop it open a window, though.
I look out. The window is open, yeah. So
But
It's cracked.
It's cracked.
I want
because
a sight,
then
though.
it's-
Mm-hmm.
so I back
There's
out.
also those runes that were carved around
Oh.
the frame.
Dang it.
But you don't know what they do.
I try.
All right. You are outside. Sounds of the concert playing loudly, and although you take no notice as you hurriedly make your way,
Is
Out of the
Lexi
courtyard.
with him or is he by himself?
I would
Is
have
what?
taken her,
Lexi's, yeah, he took
With
her
them.
with him.
and I'm shouting, once we're out of the way of the crowd, like, healer! I need a healer! And I head towards that apothecary.
Okay.
I'll
See if there's anybody in the crowd. I'm just checking to see if anybody in the crowd goes, I'm a healer.
Like looking for a doctor on the plane?
No.
And I'll even
Exactly.
spend the rest of my essence to even push it further to teleport as quickly as
Okay.
can.
Okay. You do another leap, and you are within sight of the apothecary, and you make your way down there. Meanwhile, back here, you're wanting him to open the,
Mm-hmm.
and he made his check against Cedric to see if he was even going to help you anymore after threatening to interrogate him. The door's open.
It's a good thing we're buddies now, man.
That one pushed it. He almost was like, yeah, we're done.
As I walk past Wynn and towards that door, I'm gonna hold out my arm and just kind of like pull her up onto my shoulder. You know, you could help us a bit. And then
She
walk
jumps
through.
up onto your arm.
I'm gonna walk through the door, I guess.
I'm going to go through too, and I'm going to actually look for stuff this time.
He's here. Get Val in here. Guys up here. Where's Cedric at? Or what's he doing?
Cedric is trailing behind. After giving this place one more sweep.
Okay.
He's mostly, since he doesn't want to overcrowd the room. Actually, is the librarian like right there?
Yep.
All right, he's gonna sidle over to the.
Do I see him doing this?
No.
You don't know if I know, do you? I would probably be keeping an eye on Cedric, considering how the
All right.
librarians reacted to him.
You can make a
So
perception
would, so
check.
would Lorna at this point.
You
She's
can
not
make a-
stupid. She's like,
Dang.
Nope. He's left unsupervised.
Like a
Here,
kid
you
in a
left
candy
me
shop.
unsupervised.
So what's Cedric doing?
He sidles over to the librarian, or the prisoner, and he's just looking at him.
He does not. He seems to be looking in your general area, but not locking on you necessarily.
My name is Cedric.
Ah! Make a roll. Oh my goodness. Okay. He backs into the shelf.
That's it. That's all he does.
That's all you got. All right, check of the room. Make your rolls.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
let's hope I roll better this time.
Sure, I'll add my +3 because why not?
I did not roll better this time. What? Well, I guess I did, but not really.
How do I add the 3? Do I add it where the modifier is?
Yep.
It won't let me type anything there.
What?
It's a little box at the top of your character sheet, very, very,
Yeah,
very top.
very, very top.
Next to your name.
Right under your name.
It says mod.
And make sure you clear it out after you roll this. Otherwise,
Got
you're going
it.
to get that bonus to every roll from now on.
Hey, I'll take
Wait,
it.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
In this particular room, again, lots of bookshelves in there. You find an area of shelves kind of cleared out, and there's some books stacked up. And as you're kind of sifting through those, you see underneath it, there's this little box that looks to have almost like shapes carved into it.
Move the box to the top.
Kind of looks like that.
Oh, it's a puzzle box. Okay. Joy, I'm gonna hold it up so that Cattell can see.
You definitely, as you pick it up, you feel like the panels shift a little bit, as if they could move.
I know how to work it.
I'm. What do you think it is?
It's not. It's small, like the one you just showed us, right?
Yep, it's that size.
Unless it's a very small book, it's not what we're looking for. But
It might help. I'm gonna go out to the librarian, to Isaac.
I'm
you
gonna
see
start trying to
Cedric
figure out this.
kind of standing there, staring over the guy. And then he's
Cedric,
just,
I know you want to make friends, but I need to ask Isaac a question.
Cedric shuffles back a little bit.
Please don't mind him, Isaac. He's awkward and lonely. He wants friends, and he's not very good at making them.
No, he's not.
No, but don't hold that against him. He's entertaining once you get past the scary. This box, and I kind of describe it to him. I understand that you cannot see and that you are not able to ascertain what is exactly in the library, but would you have any knowledge of what this is?
I'm afraid not.
Okay.
They
thank
have
you.
many secrets here.
I turned to Cedric and Lorna. Do you think this would lead us to what we're looking for?
While Cattell was out there, I'm gonna be whispering to Wynn. What do you think? Do we open it? And I'm like showing Wynn the box. Full on not even paying attention to that conversation. I'm like having a conversation with Wynn about opening the box, figuring it out. How do we do this? And I'm
Like
starting
a
to look for
puzzle that
patterns.
must be solved.
Yeah. And I'm starting to look for patterns to see if I can figure out how to open this box.
Do you have investigate?
Probably not.
Cedric's also gonna walk over and take
Nope,
a look at
I
the
don't
box.
think
Okay.
And hold out his hand.
Would engineering have any help with this, figuring this out?
You can give it a try. It's gonna be really hard. I have to high DC, but the way you roll, maybe you pull it
Well,
off.
I don't know. My last couple of rolls were not great, but let's see.
I'm gonna hold out the box to Cedric and let him. take a look.
Hey,
Nice.
that's
No.
a good roll.
Not good
Well,
enough.
Yeah, that's a good roll, but
I rolled a 16, but a 20 is a fail. That's
I told you it was gonna be high.
The sputtering, is happening over. What the?
it just hurts when a dirty 20 is a fail.
Well, you rolled a 16, but the total roll was a 20.
Yeah, I know it wasn't a natural 20. I just, even a
No.
dirty 20, it hurts when it doesn't.
Remember, natural 20s don't always mean success, but it's a skill check.
And that hurts even worse.
That hurts even worse.
Yeah.
No, it's worse when you roll it on an initiative roll, and you're like,
and disadvantage
oof.
happened to me twice the other day. I was so upset.
Mhm.
Okay, moving on.
All right, Cedric.
Cedric is going to investigate this.
Yep.
Fuck. Sorry.
So as he's,
Sorry, family.
he's looking at it, and he's like,
Roll thing. You have that roll thing. You have that roll thing.
you
Wait,
hear
does it
a-
allow me to re-roll? I thought it was only for book looking.
Yeah, it's only for book looking.
Oh,
not for
okay.
this.
Never mind.
You hear a pop, and then you start seeing this like green mist.
I hold my
Sticking
breath
out of it.
and I hold my breath and I backpedal.
Same.
Cedric's just,
Let's see
Cedric's just
here.
holding it, looking at it.
Why can't we
Lorna,
open
Right
things?
here. I don't know.
Y'all are on your own.
because the thing is ridiculous.
Save
All
me
right,
now.
so
Let's just
what we're
leave
gonna
him
need-
behind.
What we're gonna need here.
I have a mechanic I'm saving. Thanks.
So the three of you.
You know, as the right hand man to the captain, you think you know what my qualifications were.
I asked.
I know.
Oh, you really like it's not like you whipped out your resumes and stuff. It's like, well, I have a history of blah blah blah. All right, you're gonna need to make a stamina reaction, which is
Oh,
the die. It's the die next to stamina.
I don't think I do.
At least you're about to figure out who the healers are.
Guys, we haven't
Cedric
been in
passes.
combat
Wait,
yet.
is this an
Yeah.
abilities?
No, it's on your main sheet. It's under
Stats?
stats under
Okay.
body, and you'll see
So we all need
stamina
to roll
there.
it.
and just click that die next to it. Yeah, Cedric's passed it. Yay, Lorna passed it.
Okay.
Hey, you all passed it. Good job.
Worked really hard on that.
Hey, you did. Wow, even the old guy passed it.
Hey, that's good. That's
Hey.
good.
All right. So you all step away from it.
I'm just holding
Mhm.
it, standing in the mist.
All right. So he's there.
Just-
You guys back away. And he's just standing there as this stuff's. He's just engulfed in this
Oh,
cloud.
but-
The box is leaking.
Cedric, are you right?
He looks at you.
Yes.
Try making it stop.
He takes it, looks at the pillar in the room, and smashes it against the pillar.
Okay. He smashes it up there, and pieces fall everywhere. Looks like there's like some green liquid on the inside that immediately just like starts steaming rapidly and boiling up, and then just you see it just kind of just dissolving away as it's exposed to the air, along with what looked like some object that might have been inside that's now just destroyed.
We're
Cedric
doing
looks
great,
at the.
team.
In the meanwhile, the mist goes up towards those little slits and stuff that let air and starts seeping out to go outside. But by the time it gets there, it'll have dissipated a lot. I mean, it's like no longer concentrated.
Cedric looks back to you guys and nods.
Well, any use that had is no longer. Cedric, can you look around and see if there's anything else worth?
There was another door in there.
There was another door.
Yeah, on the very bottom. Well, not bottom, sort of bottom.
Maybe
Depends on your
Directions are hard.
perspective.
Look
Cedric,
to the
look-
south.
look around. I did not get a good look in this room. Maybe look around, see if there's anything else that I obviously missed, and we'll go look at the store.
All right, so you're heading back into this room.
Mhm.
Okay. Tell heads in there. Everybody's
We are
going
the
in there.
Worst thieves ever, guys.
We're not
Lorna
supposed
never-
to be stealing anything.
I
To be
understand.
fair, Cattell does not have experience stealing anything.
To be fair, Lorna does, but not in this way. It's like,
Is
an
everybody-
apple.
Is everybody going in this room?
Yeah, I guess
I'm
because
going
Cedric
to
was
actually
told to.
I'm gonna
Okay.
stay out.
Oh, you're gonna stay out.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm going
Okay.
in to look.
Until I need to have the librarian open another door, I'm just gonna stay out of the way.
There is this another glowing barrier, and you've right. I mean, you've searched the room.
There's
nothing.
another one of those magic doors.
There's another magic door.
Mhm.
Isaac, could you help us again, please?
I do not know the answer to that door.
Ah. Isaac does not know how to get through that door.
Did I hear the words he used at the other door? Did I recognize them at all?
It was like an arcane word, other than the fact of it was like the passphrase for that door. You know,
Yeah, but it
that's
was
like an arcane.
But they were
passphrase.
different. They were different for each door.
Yes, this door was a different. The one that you got through to get to this one was a different word.
Have all the other rooms been checked?
Well, Lexi was opening one of the doors. There's two
So-
doors on the other side, but they're not magic, just locked.
Let's go there then, before we mess with something that could potentially get us in trouble. See if there's anything in that room first.
I shall analyze this door.
You analyze the door. Don't try to go through. And Lorna, should we go check out that last room? I'm assuming it's the last room.
I suppose. I,
All right.
I assume Lexi must have gotten into one of the others, but there must have been a trap or something.
Cedric, make a
think
perception check.
we might have run into something
Perception.
like what we just handled.
That would make sense.
Hey,
Very nice.
yeah. Well, I got some news for you. All right.
Probably the biggest group of chuckleheads ever. Trying to, like, we were not designed for this type of mission, guys. I'm
Nope.
just gonna throw that out there.
Nope. I am
Cedric's been doing his
surprised
best.
I
He's
was
been
able to sweet
Yeah.
talk Isaac because dang.
That was
Cedric,
impressive.
you see faintly inscribed above the doorway that phrase.
Okay, thank you.
And Lorna and I are gonna go investigate the other room before we try to mess with that door.
We're starting to head towards the door. I don't know what Cedric's gonna do that might stop us in our tracks.
You
but-
taking the caretaker with you?
Yeah, I'll take him with us. I kind of just very gently hook my arm with his.
All right. You come over to this space and you see one door has been opened, the other one is closed.
Well, I guess that's the one that Lexi opened.
Probably. Let's go see if what's in there before we try figuring out this other door.
All right. I'll go in the other room and look around, see if there's anything left that Lexi didn't find.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, she rolled insanely high. so-
All right, so you go in there. You see laying on the floor is this big, thick book that's been opened up, and you see it's like carved out is a shape that looks very much like that cylinder she was carrying. So
Okay.
it's laying on the floor.
I'll pick
There's a
up that
couple.
book.
There's a couple books that have been like, look like they've been removed from the bookshelf, but are sitting right on top of it in that same vicinity.
I'm gonna pick up the book that's like the trick book that had the cylinder inside. I'm gonna close it and just kind of like set it back
Okay.
so it doesn't look quite so obvious. Huh. Do I see anything else that looks interesting, or it just seems like she already cleared out this room?
Roll away.
Oof, that didn't even roll. That was like a.
Since it
It
was my
didn't.
intention to go in and look also, would I?
Yeah,
Did
you
I
can roll too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. Okay.
Much better.
Yay. But you don't find anything important.
Cool. We've cleared this room.
Great.
All right, go to the other room.
All right,
Isaac,
heading over here. There's the
I'll ask Isaac if he can open it.
he he pulls
How
out.
old is this dude?
Victor doesn't look that old.
He had a rough life. He's had some
That's
torture.
true.
done.
That's
Can
Well,
I
that's
try
true,
something
yeah.
while he's doing this? I just
Mhm.
want to reach forward. I don't think this will do anything. But maybe? Would restore do anything for him?
No.
Okay,
not-
because I know it can restore like mental points and attribute damage, that kind of stuff, but I didn't know if like how badly. Okay, never mind. I would know that. So. All right.
All right, so he pulls out and he's got keys on it, and he hands them to you. To Cattell.
Oh, okay. I will unlock the door.
Okay.
I'm assuming not to me.
I'm just
I
like,
was nice to him too. I tried.
Oh, what are you trying to? Oh, these keys. All right, so you get the key. Door unlocks. Do you open it up?
I'm going
Isaac,
to
is anything going to happen if I open the door?
No.
All right,
No.
I open the door.
Oops, I locked it again. There, door's open.
All right.
You see shelves inside.
Check it out.
Yep, same. And another magic door.
Yes, and there's another magic door.
Oh, here. I need to roll. God.
A whole lot of nothing.
A lot of nada.
This room's clear. Nothing in here.
Wow. But we do see the magic door, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Glaringly right there.
Yes, it's glaringly right there. Yes.
Isaac, do you know how to open this door?
I do not.
I'm gonna
All
look
right.
at Wynn. Any ideas?
Has Wynn been able to check anything out?
Yeah. You see Wynn with two hands point at the top of the door frame.
I'll look at the top of the door frame.
And you see real finely inscripted up there, it says, "The keenest eyes cannot see everything. Always remember to see the big picture."
This is big brain stuff that I don't have the capacity for.
All right.
I'm a smooth brain, not a big brain.
The keenest eyes. What was it again?
The keenest eyes cannot see everything. Always remember to see the big picture.
Are there phrases like that over all the doors?
You haven't seen any
I
of the doors. I recall seeing any.
glance at Wynn, thinking maybe she noticed something that I did not.
Shakes her head no.
Okay. I'm gonna go get Cedric and pull him into this room, see if he can spot anything that we're missing.
All right. What's Cedric doing?
So Cedric, after reading the phrase that you gave me, has been wandering around looking for a large picture.
Dun, dun, dun. Roll a perception check. Actually, where are you looking? How far around are you looking?
Well, have I seen any in the rooms that I've been in so far? I've been in the left, both of the rooms, the top around as I was looking. I've been around the tree area.
Roll your acumen.
Acumen.
Just click on the word.
Oh boy, where is that? Ah, found it. Okay. Just click on the word.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, now make a perception check.
Okay. Perception.
Oh,
Wow.
that was like
Way
Yeah, it's
back
like what?
here.
Okay.
In that space, you those little indentions on those pillars.
Mm-hmm.
As you move amongst the pillars, they start to, from the right angle, create a three-dimensional kind of picture. And it says, always remember the big picture, resolute, determination, perseverance.
Okay. That's the picture that the dimples make?
Yeah. It's like one of those 3D art things. If you look at it and you let your eyes go unfocused.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I've never been good at those. But Cedric is.
Yes, he is.
So he looks around at both of them, then like looks blankly for a minute and starts like absentmindedly walking back to the magic door.
All right, you guys are he's heading back. You guys meet as he's
Yeah,
coming
I
from
follow.
the entrance area. That's where you see him coming back.
We're having trouble with this room back here. Do you mind looking through it with us? I find it hard to believe that there's nothing useful.
I found something.
We found the phrase. Well, Wynn did.
Oh, the phrase.
The keenest eyes cannot see everything. Always remember the big picture.
Yes, I also found that.
Any idea what it means?
No. But I'm going to try something.
Oh. What are you going to try?
He just starts walking off towards the magic door.
Oh.
To the one he was at before.
I'm going to turn to Isaac real quick.
Mhm.
I'm gonna chase after Cedric.
Okay.
The words that you've been using to open the doors, what do they mean?
I do not know. They were taught to me.
All right. And they're just arcana language.
I do not speak it. It means gibberish to me.
All right. All right. I will go follow the others.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're over at the door. All of you.
So he raises his hand and he crooks his fingers as he taps into his
I'm
essence.
standing back.
Me too. Yeah.
Not in the room.
Away.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of just peeking around so I can see.
He
I'm
doesn't
like-
notice the lack of
You
confidence.
see
or
Wynn is
anything.
like on your head, peeking out even further. Something.
Just shove her back a little bit.
So he's tapping into his I forget the sphere. He's tapping into his protection sphere as he raises his hand in front of him and trying to interface with the magic in any way possible. And repeats the three magic words, one at a time with space in between. So resolute, determination, perseverance.
The door opens, or the trick becomes transparent for you to enter.
He lowers his hand. Did that consume any essence?
No.
Okay.
And
he turns back
working
around.
with the essence of the door on that one.
Great. He turns back around, looks at everyone who's like feet behind him.
Very clever.
He nods.
All right. Let's see what's inside.
Follow in.
I'm gonna
Nice.
actually keep watch.
I just moved you. Like, push back there.
And I'm assuming I have Isaac with me. I would.
Yeah, he's right there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not wandering too far.
Just keep
All right, so this room is a circular chamber with the column directly in the center, and there is
Oh, that's not me. Okay.
that was me. There are some chairs in there, some books and such for like it's like a reading room of sorts, but the seats are facing towards each other, and along all the walls are just shelves of books.
I'm starting to really hate libraries. I'll start searching the books, I guess.
All right.
Books.
How's it going in there?
There's a lot
That's
of
her over
books.
there with a lighter. Oh, sorry.
I trip over one of the chairs. Just Wynn's just standing on my chest, just looking very disapprovingly at me.
Actually, it's just she seems like overwhelmed. There's just so many books. There's just so much stuff, and time's got to be running out. And that's kind of the sense like that she just isn't focused.
I'm gonna walk in.
Cedric, are you looking too?
I am. You want me to roll perception?
Yeah.
I'm kind of just peeking in. Do you need any help?
Lorna looks just very just
Overwhelmed.
I'll walk in.
This is more books than she's ever seen in her life about 45 minutes ago.
All right. As you're going through, you come across this. This text is a mess of esoteric poetry and obscure riddles. One of these entries describes a horn once used by Petra, which seems to be hidden somewhere in the fractured path. Spending considerably more time analyzing the poem may provide several additional hints about this horn and its location.
Cryptic reference to horn.
You also, there's two, find a reference, I'm sorry, not a reference, a map indicating waygates.
Finally.
Is this the right map of the right way gates?
Right, we come back with
One of the
wrong
references
one.
on the map does talk about the plane of mineral.
Yeah. Actually,
Hallelujah.
I know planology, so I can analyze this if you want me to.
Do it. Make sure we get the right thing. Not the wrong one. All that work.
You know,
Go ahead.
spellology
Check.
is the study
Check.
of caves.
Yeah,
What is?
Spellology? Speleology?
teleology, like spelunking.
Like,
Yeah, that's where spelunking is.
Oh.
I have it on mine. I was like, what's this? Oh, that makes sense.
how cool am I?
I didn't know I know how to do know
I
that.
got a new planner, and I was like, I wonder what I have down there. Oh, okay. I know geography.
Anybody want to go
maybe I can
caving?
help.
This appears to be what you are looking for, Cedric.
Cedric looks at everyone and holds it out, shakes it a little bit.
Is
and
that
then pulls out his writing kit, and still looking at everyone, puts it down.
all
Puts
right?
the writing kit down.
Can
Do
we
you
help?
think it, Cedric? Are you writing? Is he like just looking at us?
No, I
while
don't know
co-
what he's doing.
while copying the map without looking at it?
Right, he's looking at everyone.
Dude. All right, copy the map.
He opens up the writing kit and begins to copy the map very quickly. Just
So we know for a fact that this is what we're looking for, and it's not a piece of what we're looking for. All right, then let's get out of here.
like a printer.
It's gonna be a while.
It's a Xerox machine.
Little dot matrix printer going. I can do it. All right. So you carefully scribe it out, or draw to the best of your ability, which I will not torture with that. You have two heads over your shoulder looking to make sure that, like, it's a little bit over there. That's good. But it appears as you are drawing this particular map that these are actual passageways that are near the city of Petra. And there's many of them.
You're gonna add like to our gear, or maybe on the Discord, like links to the books, because I like have very, very short blurbs about what the books are.
Yeah, same.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great, fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta figure out why they weren't caught, why they were but they're items, so I can move them. They just
Great.
weren't moving for some reason.
Maybe we can find that cool horn.
Yeah.
It's a win.
It's a win.
Okay,
Feline embodiment of win.
so Cedric is just
All right. So you have that completed. You make your way out.
I'm going to turn to Isaac. Thank you so much. We have to go, but if I have the ability to reach your family, is there anything you want me to relay to them?
Just let them know I'm still alive.
All right. I'm going to give him a hug, because I feel like he's probably not had any kind of affection for forever. Just give him a nice long one before.
So as you reach out and you hug him, you feel like this sense, like you just guard where he just kind of like feels like just baggage just kind of lets go, and he just kind of sags a little bit and returns the hug and says thank you.
Thank you.
Should we perhaps make sure we lock all the doors again?
Right. We need to make it look like we weren't here, aside from the fact that we have destroyed a couple of things.
We'll just brush those under the bookcase.
Yeah.
I can take care of the doors that I know of. I don't know how you got.
Through this one. Cedric, are you able to close the door back up? Or at least try? All right, let's get out of here. Make sure you have
Well-
everything on you.
While they're doing that, I want to go back to where the tree is just quickly. It's like I'm just ahead of them by a couple steps. I want to just put my hand on the tree and just say, thank you for your help. We'll be leaving.
It ripples for a second. The faces, because the face had withdrawn within. You feel like it, like a pulse underneath your hand, and it feels warm, and then it fades away.
If I might ask one favor, Isaac, the caretaker, keep watching him. He's lonely.
And you feel another warm pulse.
And then I'll start heading for the exit.
Let's get out of here.
What do you do about that door back there?
Chuck?
So Cedric leaves the room, does his Arcana thing again, and I don't know. I guess he's gonna say the words in reverse,
Yes, yeah, perfect. Sorry, it's like you. Persevere.
I don't know.
You put a lot of heart in that. We'll just say, yeah, that just closed it up. All right, so it closes up, and as you head out this room, Isaac begins the process of starting to close the doors he does know. And you make your way back upstairs.
Before he leaves, Isaac, he walks over, puts a hand on his shoulder, just like shakes him a little bit, and pats his shoulder, and leaves.
Okay. Feel him like shudder under your touch, but nothing else happens. All right, you make your way back upstairs into the rare books room.
We got out of here. As I look around and see only the fake Val, which might not even still be there anymore.
You see
Cards,
all of you doing your thing, and you see fake Val. Like at first, because you didn't know he flung the card out there. He's looking at the books up on the wall.
Did he come back?
I'm gonna go pick up my card so that I'm not two of me in the room.
Right,
I'm gonna pick up my
grab
card
it and
also.
pick it up. You fade away. It's sitting you. Same
In my
thing.
pack.
Same
I'm
thing
gonna-
with the others.
Go over to where Val's is. Do I see the card? Or like
You do. You see, it's like kind of wedged into the. He flicked it good. Like stuck like right under the
I'll
the
grab
bookshelf
it.
a little bit. All right. As soon as you pick it up, and it flickers and fades, leaving only Lexi
Running
sitting
over to
on the
Lexi.
couch.
On the couch reading.
I would have made a beeline for Lexi because she was sleeping on
She
the
was
couch.
actually sitting. Yeah, her card was
Yeah.
right near where your card was. So
Yeah. And I'm
And it
just gonna
fades
pick it
away.
up and hold it up.
it fades away.
How do we? I mean,
There are two options, or there are three options. One which I don't really want to use. We can either walk out the front door and hope nobody gets in the way, or we can go through the window. But it does have an alarm. I can get us through it one way, but that's not something I do unless it's necessary. So the only thing that makes the most sense, at least in my mind, is that we go through the front door, and if anyone asks about our other companions, we say that they've already made their way out. And if, worst comes to worst, we just run.
Cedric, you have the only thing that really incriminates us, right? The copied.
And the stuff I stole.
Wait, you what?
What?
He like opens up his coat and pulls out like the various papers that he took.
Where did you get those?
Oh, we weren't supposed to take those. I got a few myself.
Oh,
Can
well,
wind fit through the window? Could wind squeeze through? I would think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if we attach all these to Win? Win can get back to the ship faster than any of us.
I'm all right with that.
Then if they search us, there's nothing on us to incriminate us.
No, that's good thinking.
All right.
Maybe though, instead of having her go all the way to the ship, she meets us at our previously designated location, which is where I'm hoping Val and Lexi are.
Win, you know where to meet us? I'm going to start gathering the papers and start bundling them together.
He just gives you
Scroll
the.
them.
Yeah. And
Scroll
kind of
them.
rig a little. I'm sure I have some. We've probably done this before, so I'm like got a way to attach.
Hoping.
I mean, she could probably hold it in one of her hands. So.
Yeah.
She's got 6.
She's got
She's got a few. All right. And I'll take her over to the window. Meet us What was
It
the
was a
name?
tavern.
It was a tavern. I wrote the name down. Give me a second. Lexi
Do you-
came up with it. I don't remember. I thought I wrote it down. Cloak and Stagger. That's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I could Cloak and Stagger out of here.
Yeah. Meet us at the Cloak and Stagger. Stay out of sight. And I'll.
Gives you.
I imagine she does it in like 4 of her paws. Let's be honest.
Except for the one holding the stuff.
Yeah, except for the one.
3.
And I'll put her through the window so that she can go, and then follow the other 2.
Oh.
All right. I'm going to walk out of the rare books room.
Let's
Yeah,
Just
walk.
to knock on the door or something?
Oh,
Oh.
knock.
I'm point of order. I made sure that other door that we opened is
Oh, yeah,
shut and
everything.
Oh,
locked,
good.
like,
You remembered
it's
that.
locked.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, Mm-mm,
It's like-
no. Like the minute we all got through it, I'm like pulling it shut and like trying to see if I can relock it somehow.
All right. All right. You managed to get it closed and such. And then you close the other doors.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. But if they would have
Before-
had to knock to get out, that means that they wouldn't have been able to leave.
Where are they?
um,
Sorry, I minimized the screen. All the windows went away.
Oh, no.
Well,
This is
We'll
why
figure it
nobody
out.
uses
Come on.
okay, okay. Now that I've remembered, now that that's, I might have to just do this. Because I don't want to set off any alarms, so I don't want to do this anywhere near the window ruins. Where is my spells?
Arcana.
Arcana.
Yeah, I got it.
What exactly are you trying to do?
Well, I have the ability to maybe we just run through the window and run.
Couldn't that put us all in a pretty bad position here in this town?
Not going out through the front door is going to put us in a bad position no matter what.
Or I meant to say something earlier until this happened. I'm vamping back through the window.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm alone.
Suddenly there's a. What's that?
I'm alone.
Suddenly you see like this like black inky thing with like little starlights in it, and it's just like explodes and like these tendrils, and then it wraps itself back in, and Val's standing there.
where's Lexi? Where have you been? How did you do that?
I look very
Look out.
pale, more than usual. I'm just shaking my head.
we got what we came for, but we are reluctant to leave through the front door without at least you. I think they wouldn't notice. Lexi is gone. I'm assuming that whatever drew you out so quickly is taken care of.
I have a deep sigh. And just turn towards the door and knock.
After a moment, you hear the locked, and then the door opens up. The librarian's there.
Thank you
Are
for
you,
your.
are you done?
Yes, thank you for your hospitality. I think we have all that we've needed to learn here.
Very well then. And she steps to the side to let you out.
And I just keep a straight pace and not give any hesitation to why there is a missing person to the group. Just confident, walking straight.
Follow him.
Cedric just walks the same way he always walks, just
Follow.
All right. head out. She doesn't say anything. She closes the door and locks it behind you as you make your way. And the sounds of the concert are still going strong, but they're at the finale of it. Yeah.
Grand crescendo.
Yes.
I'm going to immediately make a beeline for
The tavern.
The tavern. Actually, no. I'm going to spin to Val. Where's Lexi?
You need to go to the ship now.
We have to pick up when she has the thing. I can get her and meet you back, I think. Where's Lexi?
Make it quick. It's my only answer, and I keep walking towards the ship.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Lorna's arm and I'm going to very quickly not run or anything, but go towards the tavern to go pick up Win.
What's Cedric doing?
I guess just following. He's
Which
We're
one?
not
Val or them? Val's heading to the ship. They're heading to
Val.
the.
Yeah, definitely
yeah.
Val.
Okay. So you part ways. Heading to the Cloak and Stagger. So you get there. Win is outside. It's very. There's a lot. Looks like there's a lot of people. It's a lot of crowds inside because the music from the concert's so strong right here, and a lot of people that's where they're listening to it. So it looks like Win just chose to remain on the outside of it rather than going inside.
I gather up Win and I'll take back the paperwork and shove it in my pack and then follow Cattell.
Okay. So as you scribble the paperwork, Win scurries up into her familiar position around your neck. You make your way back to the ship. That concludes this adventure.
Oh man.
Woo!
You want to play that out tonight?
Sure. Yeah, we can. The tail end of it, yeah.
Okay.
So as you head back towards the ship at haste, you catch up with Val and Cedric, who are purposefully walking, but also like not at a run or anything to draw attention. They just look like they're just on business. And the group of you make it all the way back up, which takes a long time. It is well past midnight. But when you make it to the Sky Harbor and get back to the ship, and it's quiet, other than some around in the docks area, other than some drunken airmen who are coming back from or heading out to a night of partying and drinking and what have you. But the ship itself is quiet as you get on board, other than you hear the faint sounds of Rutgat snoring. But doesn't appear that you're pursued or that there are any threats in this space. It's dark on board, other than just a couple lights.
Val is waiting by the door that goes down below, usually where the crew sleep. It's folded. Waiting for everybody.
Cedric comes, or is with you, I guess, waiting.
I think we caught up to you beforehand, didn't we? While we were all moving through.
Okay.
Because we didn't even stop. We had
I
to
thought you went
pass
to the
that
end.
5.
Okay.
We did, but we just kept moving.
Okay.
It was
Yeah, it
literally
wasn't a
Wynn jumped on my
interaction.
shoulder and we kept walking.
I opened the door to gesture them to go inside.
Lauren has
still
been
very-
pestering Val almost the entire way. Where what happened? Where's Lex? Like she's been asking probably at least half of the way unless somebody told her to stop.
You would only get a clenched jaw, like in response. Not even like.
Cattell just silently goes down.
Oh,
All right, you head down into the ship. and you get to the mess hall area, and there's Lexi.
How does she look?
Like, how does she look?
How do I look?
Is she now got a cyber arm?
Yes.
Would that not be awesome?
Lexi would totally dig that, I think.
You're like, yes.
Big old steam arms.
Oh, that's a win.
Dramatic.
And I just have a super huge grin on my face at the reaction.
What took you guys so long? Gosh, I've been waiting forever.
Happened.
You were in a lot of pain. Are you all right?
I was close to death, but all is well now.
Her hand is
to-
wrapped.
thanks
You
to
do see
Val.
her hand is wrapped up. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Why didn't you just bring her to me?
I'm sorry, and what are your talents?
Well, I can help people that are hurt, among other things. Also can talk to plants, sort of, not really convince them to do things I want them to do. Sometimes.
So you have the ability to heal.
Yes.
Cedric raises his hand.
And you have the ability to heal.
Well, that's good information to know.
Are there any other useful abilities that should probably be shared before our next assignment?
Probably.
Cedric?
Like, and how Val got out of a locked room in a ball of tentacle things. What
I would have
about
to
you?
say it came in very handy to save me.
Let me see your hand, and I'll go over to take a look.
I put
See
out
if
my
I can-
hand and
If
let her
I can
unwrap
do
it.
anything else. Probably
As
not.
you
since the
unwrap it,
doctor
you
is
see
already-
that she's got some sort of a poultice on it. To look like it's been treated by somebody.
Is she?
You see there's red streaks on her arm, but they're just on her forearm area.
Would my healing or
Make a
restore?
treat check.
Okay, hang on. Oh, that's not very good, but it's okay.
All right. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, it looks like this has been. It was like a poison treatment.
But if I healed her, would it matter, or
No.
would it wouldn't speed anything up or anything like
Nah,
that?
she's actually on the med now. It's
Okay.
drawing the
The
poison
lines
out.
were all the way up to almost my heart.
Well, if poison gets to your heart, that's usually very bad.
They told me I was at death's door.
And you seem all right with that.
I'm not in pain anymore, and that's all that matters. I'll
Mhm.
remember that pain forever.
I'm glad you survived.
How did this happen?
I was trying to unlock something, and
I look over at Cedric.
I look over at Cedric also.
Was it a box?
it was a tube that seemed to have.
That's in his pocket.
It is. I'm not saying a thing.
We don't know that.
No, we don't know that. And needles shot out because I assumed there was something inside, but I
Well, there was
didn't
something
open it
inside of
correctly.
the box that we found, except it was destroyed when Cedric smashed it.
Well, I never got inside this thing, but it got inside me.
There's some information I feel should be shared. The caretaker that we met. He's blind, so he wouldn't be able to describe any of us. But he's a prisoner there. And any secrets that get out result in torture, essentially, the threat of your family. So the risk of this mission, I think, much more dangerous than we were led on to believe. And
Also-
one of those secrets are now in our hands.
We also didn't have very good knowledge. if you're going to go sneaking around a place, you should probably know what you're getting yourself into. How many rooms there are.
The intel was certainly lacking. I've caught thieves who were much more well prepared than we were, and the fact that I was able to talk down the caretaker and that Lorna was able to talk down the tree, we were extremely lucky.
I'm going to pull out the map that Cedric drew that I took back from Wynn. And I'll hold it out to Val. Maybe have a conversation with the captain.
The headmaster of this academy, if they get any wind of what we've done, we are all in trouble.
I will pass the word along. And I take the map and roll it up and head towards the captain's chambers.
All right.
I'm going to sit down next to Lexi. I'm assuming I'm still probably sitting next to Lexi. And I'm going to put Wynn on the table so Wynn can snack on whatever's there.
Who's holding all of the papers that we stole now?
I am.
Okay.
If you come over, like she'll slide them all actually over to Cedric because she don't know
Okay,
what the
don't want it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pause it there because the captain isn't the big conversation. He'll be with Fisk, the person who arranged the whole thing in the first place.
I just sent you a DM regarding that.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, there we
Start
are.
the montage of all of us eating and having the conversation. So what are you good at? No, okay, wait. What are you good at? So why?
And Cattell just dodging every question. Matrix style.
And Lorna answering them very truthfully, awkwardly, it seems like.
Cedric just watching everyone eat and standing in the corner as usual.
Cedric opened the door.
Oh, that was pretty impressive.
And he closed it by speaking backwards.
That was even more impressive.
This is Ætherealms After Dark. Not as exciting as you thought it would be.
I almost died, not even being in combat.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, yeah, I didn't think you're ever going to make a save on that. I'm like, geez,
I
make a
know.
I know.
save. It was a low. It was even not even a high
I want my
difficulty.
I want my real dice. They're much friendlier.
Well, you rolled well in other spots. It's just for some reason that roll just was not working for you.
Nope. Oh well.
We almost lost
Thank you.
our engineer.
Thank you for
Yeah, you
not
wouldn't have been able to
dying.
fly anywhere. They would have had to find a new one.
Right?
Just, make a twin of Lexi. All
Yes.
same everything.
This is Ixel. Very
Ixel.
similar abilities.
Oh my goodness. But I made it. Thanks to Hero Point for
Yeah.
that Val
Hot point.
spent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should
I
put
need to
around
learn how
without a
those-
mechanic.
Need to
Hero
learn
without a
how-
mechanic. Oh goodness. Thanks, Val.
Mhm. That's what they're there for.
Oh, I forgot about him.
We're
That's
still
what I
on
was-
the air, guys.
I know.
I totally forgot about him.
I just
Go ahead
realized
and
I was like,
wrap.
oh, hey, we're still here. Hi.
Well, it's nice for them to get a little
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Thanks for. No, I had no problem with it. It was just I looked over and I was like, oh, we're still streaming. Hi.
Yeah.
Can I really recommend Geek Grind? I really can't recommend it enough. I've been greatly enjoying it. I just saw the advertised
Mhm.
ad thing pop up. So if you're looking for coffee,
Yeah.
that's nice. And good people. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, like somewhere along the way, yeah, my chat took a dive, so yeah, I don't have any of it.
Oh no.
But I had it minimized, so I didn't see. So it just popped up. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah,
It's
I
gone.
Yep.
I loved completely. I completely see a series of upcoming montages of Val teaching them how to heist.
using table like utensils and stuff and food on the table. This is how you run this job, and this is how you run this job. And we can come up with names for them too later if you want.
I don't know. I think we did an excellent job. We were exemplars of subterfuge.
Given it was our very first time and none of us were thieves, we did it. I mean, we pulled it off, and that was a win.
And we lost our lock picker.
I know. I was a little worried about when that went down. I was like, ooh.
Yeah,
it's so good.
But then again, everything had a layered like, okay, if this were to happen, then this is what. So there was like several solutions. But then when Cedric was choking, I'm like, okay, well, there's another one gone. He's not going to help.
Right? And I'm like,
he wasn't choking him. Come on, he was just lifting him up by his shirt.
I was like, Lorna's pretty unassuming. She's standing there just talking to him. Yeah, she's got a little green fur and a cute, adorable thing on her shoulder. Okay, everything's good.
Head, so he's knocked out.
Well, he thought that's what that meant. He thought you did this, and he's like, "Oh, go intimidate him."
He heard him was the problem. He didn't make a good when I did his stealth check. Yeah, he heard him.
Ask him for a drink. Like,
my favorite was, don't I have a potion of invisibility? Yes, but it won't matter.
He's blind. What's it matter?
You gotta be very descriptive with Cedric. He's gonna take you at your most basic meaning.
Lesson learned.
And the Isaac was blind. The tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little concerning.
Cedric also told Isaac his name because he wanted to be friends with him.
He did. Yep. But you know how many Cedrics are there in the world?
Oh
yeah, exactly.
That's what
he gave him his social security number too, so there's that.
Well, that's why Cattell is like, I'm just gonna stick with Watcher. It's like a kind of blanket official police-ish sort of thing. So
Lorna just
I was just gonna scream in pain that my hand was burning and
I kept waiting to know that I heard it, but then like I was in the midst of Cedric trying to choke him out.
He wasn't trying to choke him. He was just lifting him up, picking him up a bit, like he was told to do.
Well, see, I was trying to be quiet because I'm running in panic and I'm in pain, and Val's all like, shh, as I'm coming up running. He's just like, be quiet.
I was stopping you. I shushed Cedric because he was right next to me.
I saw the shush and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Just sit there and suffer in silence.
My thought process was she was the only one he was aware of, and I didn't want to set him off.
I was literally my only thought process was Lorna's so focused on talking him down, this person down, that she doesn't know, and she's not really picking up on.
Val was very perplexed on why you were speaking to someone when we were supposed to clear in and out, don't be noticed, don't cause a wreck or ship or whatever.
Yeah, but if someone engages them, it's like they have to engage back.
The tree told us that the caretaker. Yeah. So in her thought process is, why not ask for directions?
Listen to the tree.
Well, you actually had him. You had him at that point until Cedric came around the corner. Because imagine your complete darkness, and you hear this one, and then suddenly you hear something, and you start turning, and the next thing you know, you're picked up off the floor.
I tossed the coin. You could have said that you just shook it. It wasn't like you caught it.
I did. No, I caught it and I shook it.
It was here, and I was like, shit.
Well,
in the moment.
Yeah, I know we're live.
There are reasons that I made decisions I made.
And it all worked out.
Yep.
There you
go. I survived.
Natural 20s.
We got what we needed.
Well, at
the double natural 20.
Yeah.
A 56. I was worried at first, and then when you were getting the caretaker, when Lauren was getting the caretaker under control, and I was like, okay, so now this is, and then that had like, oh crap, okay, but I still had one more, but I didn't need it. And then, with Cattell getting it under control, and then it just.
I was expecting Cattell to fake arrest us.
And also, that's why I had. That's why I had you had to do the other.
The
persuasion check because you threw that watcher thing out there, and I'm like, okay, he's not gonna buy that. That's like, there's no such thing. So I was like, well, let's give it a shot. And then you rolled well again, and I'm like, okay, well, he'll go with it. That seems, hey, there's a watcher now.
Why didn't I get to roll when I said that we were students?
I
To
think it's your
him?
voice.
Yeah, I had him up against the thing, and I was telling him exactly what we were. We were students.
Why would a student pin an old man?
He's crazy about knowledge. He really wants to learn.
Show me the books.
But not on history.
Yeah, it's based on his reaction
Well, he
on
wouldn't
like,
have
what was
said he
being
was
done
a
to him at the
history
time.
student, because no one's a history student at this university except for that one student.
Except for the one.
The one.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, wow.
she's studying mathematics. It's just like, no.
All right, well, let's go ahead and end
Yeah.
this video and do a raid over to some friends of mine. And
Woohoo.
we'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.